Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Critical Role here, where a bunch of us nerdy-ass voice actors play Dungeons & Dragons.
Damn it! It was perfect!
No, I got it right this time. Careful what you wish for. But yeah, so thank you for joining us. Last week was kind of a crazy episode, and this week we continue that theme.
We can throw your soft D20 at him.
However, I do want to go over some quick announcements so we can get the show on the road, get as much game time as possible. It looks like we're going to be down one Scanlan Short Haul tonight. Unfortunately, Sam Riegel had scheduling stuff he couldn't get around. But we do have our other fantastic gnome, Ashley Johnson, joining us from New York.
So
yeah, so that's cool. This is our 40th episode.
What?
Oh my gosh!
40th episode. That's crazy
insane.
to me.
Which we could have waited and celebrated 50th episode, but fuck it. 40 it is.
Every time we'll be like, hey.
We'll celebrate 50 like
We
a
told
month.
ourselves
totally.
40 and done.
Yep.
So
That was the plan.
this is the last episode, you guys.
That's
Hope
not
you've
true.
had fun.
Enjoy.
Hopefully not. I certainly hope not. We'll see how tonight goes. So yeah, that'll be cool. We're gonna have our anniversary coming up in March too, which should be fun.
Oh, man.
So excited for that. But yeah, so
Oh my gosh, will our 50th time up with our year? We got to figure this math out.
Four episodes in February. 4 episodes.
It'll get close.
Get very close.
it'll get close. We'll see.
Whoa.
That would be crazy.
Whoa.
No, but close.
No, I don't think so. But anyway, so a couple quick announcements. Just a reminder, we're going to be at Wizard World Portland, February 20th and 21st. So, guys, if you're in the area, want to come say hello, we'll be there for those 2 days. Yes, do it. We'll be doing signings. We'll have panels Saturday and Sunday, so it should be a fun time, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Me and Marisha will be in Denver for Colorado Anime Fest the weekend before that, for Valentine's Day weekend in Denver, Colorado. So you guys are in that area, you can come and visit us, also for fun panels and insanity that shall ensue. So look forward to that. Also, me and Marisha will be in Ireland, we can now announce, beginning of March. The
Wow, that's soon.
for Kaizuku Con
Yeah.
in Ireland. So when
That's
be
as Irish as it gets.
Kaizuku, I know, isn't it? It's an old Gaelic term. But yeah, so we've never been. We're excited to come out and see that side of the UK and that part of Europe real fast. It's gonna be really cool. So yeah, look forward to seeing you guys out there. Hopefully.
I've got one too.
Yes.
I've got one too. I'm going to be the weekend before that as well, in the Valentine's Day weekend at Amazing Arizona Comic Con.
Boom.
It's
Yes.
going to be at Amazing Arizona Comic Con. It's going to be amazing
In
in Arizona
Wow.
with comics.
Are you going to be raising Arizona?
Oh, wow.
With
Bum,
fire.
bum, bum, bum.
We'll be raising Arizona with fire.
Fire.
Yeah, we're going to purge.
Get those out of the way now.
2d6 damage. So yeah, anybody else have any other events coming up they want to mention, if anything? Anyone? No? If one pops up, you're welcome to jump in. Let's see. We also have a few projects that recently came out. Liam, since you're pretty the helm of both of these projects.
Oh, I voice directed on 2 games. They're the exact
Wait,
same
man.
game, basically. One is called The Witness. Mastermind Jonathan Blow has created a very, very unique game. There's no shooting people in the face or any of that, but it looks to be one of the best gaming experiences of the year.
Getting amazing.
Yeah.
And then I also directed the voices for... Oh, and Ashley Johnson is in The Witness.
Yeah.
Yeah!
And then I also got to direct most of the voiceover for, what's it called? Lego Marvel's Avengers, which everybody...
Well, what's the name of that? Oh,
No,
yeah,
what's that?
Lego Marvel Avengers.
You've heard of it.
No big deal.
Or show of hands, who's doing a voice in the game? Oh, well, next one.
That's
So
okay.
close.
I'm down to play it.
Yeah,
I don't
not
want
any
anything
either.
spoiled.
There's still...
And casting for Miss Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's
She was
still
the
not a
first and last
game.
person I thought of.
There's
Wait,
nowhere
who
else
did
to
they cast
go.
as Miss Marvel?
Ashley Burch.
Yeah.
First mechanical voice for the new Miss Marvel.
Isn't that
I
hardcore?
love it.
Also, unique fun fact, Ashley is playing the character she played in the Avengers movie, so her Lego figure looks like her.
Oh!
That's amazing!
Thought about that.
How do you forget
We did it a little bit ago, and I think I I completely forgot. That's I'm excited.
You know you've made it one. Well, cool.
Let's go play them.
So congrats. Yeah, go play them out, guys.
Games are the best.
Let's see. Also, once again, a reminder for Wormwood Gaming makes awesome wooden game stuff. They're still supporting our special code to get free shipping if you order from them.
That code is crit roll. Crit roll. You get free shipping if you type in crit roll,
Right.
but you got to do it on their website, not other websites.
Yeah, doesn't work well if you go to like Bed Bath and Beyond. We don't have a relationship with them yet.
We should register at the very least at some point.
We're working on it. We're working on it. We think there's a lot of great crossover, like the Venn diagram between Bed Bath and Beyond enthusiasts and critters. So, do we have any other announcements anyone wants to make, or shall we dive on in?
We haven't plugged them in a
Yes,
while.
which we need to get back into that in the
wonderful
new year.
charity that we support, 826LA.
Thank you.
Go check them out. There's still a huge portion of our proceeds that go to 826LA every week.
What do they do?
Well, they tutor children through the ages of kindergarten and 18, because those are kindergartens in age, and help in
I'm really enjoying
creative
this.
writing and storytelling,
skills.
and they're also have cool storefronts all the way across the country. There's one in like San Fran. I know there's one in New York.
There's a pirate store. There's a superhero store.
I think there's one in Seattle.
Plus, we're handing out D&D to young kids, getting them started and hooked at a young age.
Yes, yeah. If
We
you have an 826 in your area, you should go there and tutor. And you should be like, hey,
Go to there.
you should go to there and you should tutor to there and you should introduce D&D to them.
Run a D&D
There you go.
game for kids.
Run a D&D game for kids is very
How
fulfilling.
rewarding.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, I want to give a shout out.
Yeah, Ashley, go for it.
There's this place that's pretty close to where I live called the Brooklyn Strategist.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah! And when Laura and Travis came to visit, it's basically a gaming shop, and you can play D&D there on Wednesday nights and Saturdays.
It's a cool little shop,
And you can
man.
play board games.
Which
and
borough
it's
is it
also a
in?
Coffee shop. It's rad.
She's a
Brooklyn?
Yeah.
They got like
Brooklyn?
cookies and a little coffee thing.
I bought a Millennium Falcon cookie when I was there.
What?
Pretty dope.
And it was
Yeah.
delicious.
It
What
was
was
pretty
it called
freaking
again,
good.
Ashley?
The Brooklyn Strategist.
It's pretty rad.
Check it out if you're in New York or Brooklyn.
There you go.
I'm gonna come out of this.
Do it.
Do it.
What else can we do to put off dying by 4
I
ancient?
know.
What else can we talk
Death
about for
Lords.
the next 4 hours?
Look at all that.
Nothing. We're gonna jump on into it. All right, guys. So, welcome
I
to
lost my pencil.
tonight's episode of Critical Role. So, to get you up to speed real fast, the group Vox Machina, after finishing their foray in Whitestone, finding a member of the council, Riskel Daxio, was a cult member for this entity called Vecna, bringing him to justice and executing him in the throne room of the palace of Iman. They discovered during the search the traveling troupe of Dr. Dranzel's performance troupe, which Scalen used to be a part of. During this time, they kind of hashed a plan to have Vox Machina seek this house that apparently had fallen into disarray and the owner disappeared for a while that may contain some goods. The party went and investigated as they had previously been to the house and were curious as to kind of where it stands at this point in time, especially if more people are disappearing into it. Upon going into what was once General Krieg's house, where they once fought a blue dragon, they discovered the corpse of Krieg, long buried from the collapse of the cavern and picked apart by some sort of other large clawed creature, and immediately got into some sort of a fight with a purple worm and a frost worm that were essentially battling over whatever it was that was moving in that tunnel that seemed to be nice and tasty. Both of these adolescent worm creatures, not even fully grown, proved a nice little challenge, but the party managed to succeed in escaping after killing them before the mother showed up. They returned to Iman, managed to help Scanlan's now discovered daughter Kaylee out of a little pinch and getting imprisoned after she got in a major bar brawl, and the party returned to their keep, where they were notified that Uriel, the sovereign of Taldore and the city-state of Iman, had an announcement to make in the Cloudtop district. So gathered Gilmore, gathered the rest of the party, and everyone went to the Cloudtop district around noon at the presentational stage. Sorry, noon at dusk. Sorry, the other one.
Okay.
So, at which point Uriel announced that he felt he was no longer a worthy leader or ruler of this entire realm that he has under his watch, and is deciding to step down. During this announcement, however, a number of strange entities came through the clouds in the sky as a series of chromatic ancient dragons swooped in and began to just destroy the city of Amon. Many of the townsfolk gathered at that square were immediately killed. The party, as well as a few other struggling survivors, ran away as both the large, or gargantuan black and green dragon began to chase you down. Right before they honed in to pick you off, an even larger ancient red dragon shoved them off to head east to continue their plot, after slamming down into the center of Iman and claiming it as his own domain. The party escaped via the druids' transport via plant spell, and just stepped through the tree to land in the center of their keep of Greyskull. So, now we pick up where that left off. So, as you all come rushing through the other side of the transport spell, each one of you comes stumbling out into the center of the Temple to Sarenrae that's constructed on the base floor of your keep. The sheer intensity and the force that pushes you all through one after another, some of you end up kind of tripping and catching yourself, but nevertheless, you all make it through safe and sound before the large tree trunk behind you, the portal, snaps shut, the magic exhausted. The adrenaline's still pumping in your head, and you're all still thinking over and processing what exactly had just happened and what it means.
Are we all here?
All those people.
Yes. Yes.
Is anyone hurt?
That's a good question.
Can we see anything from here?
Looking around right now, you have the stained glass of the complex. The keep seems to be in order. From this perspective, you don't see anything, because the city's on the opposite side of the keep. This portion of the temple actually faces south.
I suppose I would like to get a vantage point to see what we can see. Is there any way to we're also, I think we all took damage. I think we're all hurt.
They were all hurt a little bit.
Pike, heal.
Yeah, let me do some healing here, guys.
All right, Pike, be aware. As part of
I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah, letting you know where you're at. You cast. Let's see. You cast heal once, which I believe was your 6th level spell, and then you cast mass cure wounds, so a 5th level spell. So you've cast a 6th and a 5th.
1/6 and 1/5.
Correct.
Okay. All right, and then health-wise, where am I at? I think I went down 66.
Health-wise, you were down 66, and then you healed up. I don't remember the
20?
exact number. It was like 24. We'll go with 24. It's fine.
Okay. Okay, guys. Let's do a mass cure wounds then at. Let's see. Let's do 4th level.
Okay.
That's okay.
Wait, which one is this?
Just a moment.
Are you casting cure wounds?
Yeah.
On who?
Oh, wait, a mass cure wound. Sorry.
Mass cure wounds is a 5th level spell.
How low is everybody?
I'm all right.
I'm all right.
43, but if we can take a short rest, we can roll some dice.
I'm at 32, so same thing.
57.
Short rest?
Short rest.
We should
Short
get
rest.
inside anyway.
Let's get inside. I want to see if I can get a vantage from the top of the hill.
I think in the short term we need to take care of 2 things. One, get a vantage point and see how the keep is and what we can see from above. We also need to get the staff out of here. We need to send them away immediately.
Do we send them away, or do we send them down
Down
and below? Like
How
Below.
safe
shelter.
do we think
We
that
don't
is?
need them running out.
Safer than running around outside. That's where I want to end up.
Send them below.
Out of the city though, into the
If
wild?
we need to, later we
keep
can
for now.
bring them through the
All
port
right.
into Whitestone. But
We
Yes.
don't know what all is safe right now.
All right.
Oh, dragons.
I'm all right. So I'm gonna go find the staff and herd them down below and tell them what is happened.
You can put them in my workshop, and actually,
Well, why don't we all just head in there?
I'm gonna run. Yes, let's head down to my workshop because I have to unlock it anyway.
Okay. So are you, Pike, are you not casting Cure Mass Wounds? You have one more 5th level spell, so you could do it if you wanted.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I believe that is 3d8 plus 5, unless I'm mistaken.
This one's on everyone.
This would be on up to 6 creatures. So
Everybody.
3d8 plus 5. Well, everybody but one.
Oh.
Everybody but Scanlan.
Who's
Sure. Yeah, everybody but Scanlan. We'll put it there. so you got
18.
to-
18.
Plus 5?
18. That's plus 5.
Okay, so everyone heals 18 hit points.
Rolled a little low.
That's all right. Okay. So you're heading off.
I'm just going to start moving through the entire place. I'm going to start at the front gate and see if anyone's outside.
As you head into the foyer, the first thing you see is Lena, currently kind of panicking about running around with Irvin following behind, trying to calm her down, going, Lena, it's all right, calm down. And Lena's like, I don't know what to do. Oh, turns around, sees you. Oh, Master Axe.
It's actually not all right. We need to gather everyone right now. Quickly, I'll explain after we've gotten everyone in the keep. We need to go to Percival's workshop. Can you help me with that?
So, yeah, we can do that. We have a problem, and she points out the front of the keep is currently open, the doors, and the gate's different. You can hear what sounds like a cluster of very loud voices, shouting and screaming and yelling over each other.
Outside of the keep?
But I'm on my own right now, yeah?
You are, yeah.
What are the voices speaking?
Are you following into the foyer? Well, certainly only back
Go
here.
to Percival's workshop. Go. I will handle it.
I figured we were all moving inside at least.
All right. So as you guys move into the foyer to follow, you see Max having this conversation with Lena. She and Irvin head back down to head down to the workshop. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go stealth toward the door to see what the hell is going on.
Okay.
Nah.
We'll stealth check.
First one.
Yeah. It's 29.
Let's go.
All right, good to know. All right, so as you go to the door and look out, you can see along the top wall there are 3 figures. Takes you a moment to focus, and you realize that it is Kendrick, who's one of your general guards you keep around, as well as Cordell and Shane. All 3 of them have crossbows ready, and they're yelling to each other, and they're kind of aiming them over the wall towards the front. However, what you can hear from this point is a chorus of 20, 30 or more voices muffled from the other side of the wall.
I'm going to start running up towards them. Yeah. I'm going to join them on the wall.
Okay, so there is a ladder that heads over to the side, so you climb up the ladder, and as you get closer, you can hear people shouting, different voices going, let us in, or we'll die! And voices going, what are you doing? You're gonna leave us out here! And other people just screaming, you hear crying children, you hear people just shrieking.
How many people am I seeing down there?
Well, as you get up to the top and crest over, you can see the 3 guards are all kind of yelling to each other and yelling over, we can't do anything right now, we're waiting for the... Look over and see you come over the edge, and you can see there's probably close to 50 or so people that are all pressed up against the gates to the inside of your keep that are all shouting to be let in.
If I look past, do I see anyone else coming towards the keep? Is it just a cluster and that's it? Or
you can see people that are fleeing from the town in little bits, like 2 or 3 at a time, kind of trails of individuals that are just now managing to make it outside of the city of Amman itself. Some of them are just heading out into the distance, just getting as far away as possible. A few more are heading towards the keep, and you gather that this crowd has been gathering here for the last few minutes at the very least.
All right, slapping my hand on Kendrick's shoulder, we are going to let these people in. The city has come under attack. Everything is fucked beyond belief. There are at least 4 large, old dragons attacking the city, and these people need to come inside. I don't know what we're going to do with them, but we're going to bring them in now. And you and I are going to wait by the gate for those stragglers to come in. The rest of you, take them inside, join the others.
I'll kind of look to Cordell gives you a nod. Right, so we'll open the gate. Hold on. And you guys are you heading out to the foyer, to the courtyard as well, or are you staying inside the keep?
Yeah, we see them.
Okay, so you come out, you see this happening, and you hear them shouting on the top of the wall.
Keyleth kind of stands in the middle of the foyer, unable to move.
Keep them out of my workshop, but put them into the spare rooms and anywhere we have room.
Cathedral?
The cathedral is a great idea.
At this point, you hear this strange high-pitched whine sound, Vax, and as you look up, you can see there are these columns of smoke that are just billowing out of the city in the distance as mass areas are just burning and smoldering. You see coming out of one of the clouds something kind of spinning slowly towards you. and you look up and see that it's one of the sky ships from the Cloudtop District. One half of it currently is in flames, and it's just
Inside now.
I scream out, "Get the gates open now!"
At which point you can see now Shane and Cordell are pulling on the ratchets, pulling the chains up as fast as they can while putting their eyes up and seeing this as it careens in your direction.
I'm running up to the tower as quickly as I can.
And I'm
Bex!
fireman pulled down the ladder, down one side of the ladder to get to the gate.
Okay. The gate opens a little bit, just enough to get one or two people through, and it just begins to push through. You can see now people are yelling in pain as they're being crushed, as a whole mass of them are just pushing through the small funnel.
I scream out, "If you rush, you will die!"
It doesn't seem to be affecting anybody, unfortunately. There's just this inlaid fear and this animalistic need to survive.
Start grabbing people's arms and pulling them through and helping people get through safely.
At this point, the sky ship has passed overhead, whoosh, missing the top of the keep and the highest walls by about 40 or so feet. Before a few seconds of silence, and you hear it impact, shaking the ground for a few seconds. Not far from here, and you can see another blast of red fire and a couple of sparks of arcane energy that arc out as another column of smoke south of you begins to pour up into the sky.
I am feeling that kind of snap out of it and run to the south exit of the castle to look for the explosion.
Okay. As you start rushing that direction to the south side of the castle, looking back to where the skyship came through, you can see the smoke parts once more, and you see unfurling from within two large white wings, bearing down, and you can see as it swoops down, there are groups of people that are rushing, 100, 200, 300 feet away, that are just like pulling themselves out of the ravine that sits between the south walls of Iman and the north walls of your keep. As they're pouring through the mud in the stream there, it's about 4 or 5 feet deep, it just swoops down and unleashes a blast of freezing cold energy that freezes that whole section of the river solid, and every person in that vicinity as well, like locked in place.
Dude, can you see all of this?
You don't see this because you're inside the walls. You just see it come down and kind of swoop by. You see it kind of circle around. You, however, have a good view of this right as you're about to go down the wall on the ladder.
Vex, I need you on the roof.
All right. I run up.
Okay. As you go running up, you guys see now it circles back around, and its wings kind of tilt to one side as it begins to make its way towards the keep for a second sweep. I would like everyone to roll initiative.
Damn it.
Oh, natural 20.
All right, so
You want to go
It
first?
doesn't do a whole lot right now, but
you're there. Percy and Vex, you guys are up on the wall technically, right?
The
Up here?
up here so we can get down real quick.
Okay, yeah, because there's the ladder there.
Shouldn't there be a door that leads to that anyway?
On the top of it, the way this is designed is it's a ladder getting up and down.
Okay. That'll do.
Did you still go down the ladder, or are you staying up top here?
No, I already said I went down.
Okay, so as soon as you see it swoop overhead, you come back down to the bottom there. Scanlan is currently inside, we'll say for the sake of this, and may come out here in a moment. He's kind of figuring out what's going on. Grog, where are you?
I guess I was out in the courtyard trying to help the cattle come in.
All right, so let's go ahead and place some cattle.
Jesus.
The door to get back inside is located where?
Yeah, where's the cathedral at? Is that what the other entry is?
This is the entrance to your actual keep there.
Oh, okay.
This is essentially these two sections here are the doors that lead through to the actual interior, and people are just pouring through at this point, trying to get through as fast as possible. There's a whole cluster of them.
Gotta get that thing finished. Oh.
There's more on the outside there? Is that what you're putting there?
All right. Pike, you are where?
Yeah,
there?
somewhere around there.
In the center, just kind of keeping watch there. All right. And Trinket's with you. Or Trinket can't make it up to the ladder, so Trinket's just kind of staying in the courtyard, probably keeping close to Pike right there. Alrighty. So, initiative. 25 to 20.
24.
22.
27.
All right.
Wow.
26.
26. What'd you get, Keelan?
22.
22. All right. Who got 20 to 15?
15.
15. Pike, what'd you get?
3.
3.
Oh
Grog?
no.
9.
That's okay. It's okay.
3.
I can do some cleanup.
Right.
3.
3. And, Matt, real quick.
He said, yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I think I do have a 6th level because I think that 6th level was used for Liam with the worm, and then we came back to the keep to rest.
That's right. That's
I
correct.
think I
You do
have
have a
a
6th level still. Yes. Thank you for the reminder. Good on you.
Nice to see Pike.
All right, and so here we have Cordell, we have Shane, and we have Kendrick right there on the top. Initiative as well. Okay, top. Currently, the dragon is about, I'd say, 120 feet off this direction. You're up first, Percy.
Does it seem like the dragon has noticed us?
The dragon at the moment is currently seeing the keep. It doesn't notice anyone in particular. It just sees a swarm of people trying to get inside, and it seems to be circling around to try and do another dive attack.
How dumb am I?
That's up to you, buddy.
Okay, that's
Real dumb.
cool.
Be real dumb.
Don't be real dumb because I'm standing next to you.
All right.
Do it.
I'm gonna pull out bad news,
Okay.
and I'm going to make a targeted shot at its wings. I'm gonna try and put a hole in its wings.
Okay, go for it. Go ahead and take the shot.
Going back.
What the fuck?
Are you not on the map?
I don't think so. Not at the moment.
Right.
Come on, golden snitch.
Natural 20.
Get the hell
Oh, I love
All right.
you.
I'm back, baby.
Let's go ahead and roll some damage on that.
You just mark it out.
Statistically, just
Little
absurd.
tiny ray of sunshine. Peeks through the clouds.
So that's
4d12 for the hit on that. And then what's the save to see if it can maintain height?
it's a Constitution saving throw.
All right. It rolled a 4.
Yeah.
It is plus 14 to its Constitution saving throw, so it's at 18. What's the DC on that?
8 plus my proficiency mod plus my dexterity mod. So I don't know what that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 18.
So it just makes the
Wait,
save.
hold on, is that right? It's proficiency bonus
Proficiency bonus for you is plus 4.
plus
Dex
dexterity, which is
plus
6.
6. It's 10 to it's 18. It just makes the
Your
save.
proficiency plus 5.
No, because he didn't level up.
Stupid dragon.
Just makes the save, but it still does damage. Go ahead and roll that.
All right.
Stupid dragon.
I know.
Dragon. He's stupid.
At least you hit it. You gotta lead it a bit. One shot.
27 points of damage.
Okay. Nice.
The white dragon?
Yes.
And
Alright.
then
He does.
let's see, one more shot at the wings just to see if I can take it down. Make it.
Okay, so
make it-
second attack is reload. Third
Third
attack,
attack.
another grit point to try and take it down. Go for it. Roll for the attack.
25?
25 hits.
Oh, it's a good bit.
Rolled a 3. That is 17.
Drop, fucker.
Terrible,
Okay.
terrible. All right, so that'll effectively reduce its speed by, or its height by what?
Height by 20 feet, and I imagine it's a little like that would throw it a bit.
It might.
Now it's
We'll
angry.
see.
No,
Now it's
it's
gonna
pissed
be-
off.
All right, so
And let's do
Wait a
some
minute,
damage.
some damage to it.
And damage is 20 points of damage.
20, nice. All right, so 27 points of damage on the round.
I'm gonna
Nice.
hold my movement until it's so close that I'm gonna hold my movement till.
You can hold an action. You can't really
Can't
hold,
hold
movement.
movement.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm gonna use my bonus action to turn to Vex and fight or flight.
All right.
All right, you can answer it next. Yeah.
However, as the first bullet hits, you see it takes the hit in the wing, but it kind of just hits the muscle on the edge. As it goes into its glide to head down, you fire into the other wing. This time, poof, blowing a hole through the leather flapping on it. You can see it kind of lose about 20 feet and is actually now skidding towards the roof of the keep.
Oh, jeez.
That was a good plan.
So that ends your turn.
That was my turn.
Vax, you're up.
I am going to dive by that tree.
Right here?
And hide. I'm going to use my bonus action to hide.
All right.
And I'm going to hold my attack until it is on the ground or low to the ground.
All right, got it. So holding your action to attack if you can. Got it. All right, cool. Keyleth,
Where am I in regards to everyone else right now?
you were right here because you were heading to the south wall when all this went down.
Oh, okay.
This is the north direction this way. It came this way, swooped past, circled around, and now it's coming back from this direction.
Okay. I want to kind of just move my movement and get under that tree.
Under this tree? Or that tree?
Yeah, let me, no, towards the entrance. Towards heading for cover.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're behind the tree.
And now I'm going to cast Fog Cloud at 4th level,
Okay.
which makes it a radius of 80 feet.
Toys.
An 80-foot radius?
If you cast it higher levels, it goes up by 20 feet for each level higher you cast it.
Ooh, look at
So I'm
that.
casting it at 4th level.
Fancy.
Okay.
So I just, kind of go all storm for a second, get all misty-eyed, and I want to just create a nice low level of fog across the whole
Okay. Okay, so heavily obscured. So technically, heavily obscured would give everyone I'd say a 3/4 cover bonus. Well, let me see what the heavily obscured would actually do specifically, just to be sure here real fast. Pardon me.
Know what a
folks.
3/4 cover bonus is.
It's when you block by something, gives you a bonus too.
That never happens to me.
Must be 183.
That's when the sheets
I'm
still on
usually
the
the 3/4 cover bonus.
Alrighty.
It's about 3/4 cover.
Blocks vision entirely. A creature in heavily obscured area suffers from the blinded condition. So everyone in the entire keep is now blinded.
Well, no, I'm gonna make it like a fog cloud over top, so we're blinded by.
So it's above you guys. Is what
Yeah,
you're
so
saying.
we're blocked from the dragon as we flee.
Okay.
I hope you guys weren't wanting to shoot at it, by the way.
Well, we're above it. The cloud would be between.
Right. So the cloud encompasses this whole area here,
Actual cloud.
which means
big
only
fucking
people that are affected by it are the people at the top of this tower right now. Got it. So is that your turn? You're gonna
Head for
movement.
inside.
Cool. Staying there.
Well, I moved.
Right. You moved there. Are you done? Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. So now it is the white dragon's turn. White dragon, as it comes down, you don't see it anymore because the fog cloud obscures it, but you suddenly hear the sound of a heavy object slamming into stone and the cracking and breaking of stone against the surface as the dragon has now, due to the fall of height, slammed in the top of the keep and is just tearing its underside against the roof. Who knows the state that the roof of the keep is going to be in right now, but because of that, I'm going to go ahead and...
We'll just have Risco fix it. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. He was the overseer. He actually had somebody else built the actual
Oh,
thing by
okay, well,
hand.
good.
But, you know.
But he was still a tool.
Okay.
Contractor.
So it suffers 14 points of
It's
damage. Yeah. It's Dragonhide, man.
What about all the spires that are
Slamming into the
that we
top.
put there that are anti-dragon
the
poison?
really
Yeah.
barbed
That was a dream,
spires.
unfortunately. However, it does somewhat emerge. You can see its form somewhat as it comes down in this direction, ending its movement
No.
here.
No.
Wait, it skids to a halt right there.
It's kind of enters the fog cloud as it slams into the keep and kind of like tumbles off the top of it and catches itself in the air.
Okay.
As it's,
How high above us is it?
it is currently 20 feet above you guys.
Just jump it.
For its turn, it is going to pick a random direction to try and blast its cold breath at.
Pick away. Behind
So
me.
let me go ahead and roll a random direction on this.
Oh, because it's
Because
all
it's
covered in
can't see.
fog?
Yeah, I can't see right now. Currently, it's
God,
obscured.
I hope
Spin
this
around
works
backwards.
to
No,
our
that means you-
advantage.
Oh,
Oh
already
no,
has.
but it has blind sight, 60 feet, so it has no effect on it, unfortunately. So as it stops in the air, it still manages to, using its sense of smell, in its general atmospheric ability to sense what's around it, it seems to move its head.
Can I attack right now? I was holding my attack.
You can. Now, what's the range on your daggers?
60, because I'm sharpshooter.
30, 40, 50, 60. It's just at the cusp. Like, just barely at the cusp. So, yeah, you can get your attack on it.
So I'm going before him, and it's a surprise attack because I'm hidden.
Yes,
because
you're
I'm going
essentially
first.
you're interrupting his attack because the moment he came into range,
Okay, so it's an advantage, and it is an automatic crit.
it's not an automatic crit. It's not surprised.
It's not surprised?
No, it knows you guys are there.
Free? All right.
So
Okay.
a surprise generally means that it has absolutely no idea that you're there or there's any sort of threat
24
from you. 24 hits.
All right. And then the second dagger I throw, I can only throw a second one,
Right.
is also at 24.
Both hit.
So the first one is double dice, so 8 plus 14, 15, 18, 23, 25. So the double dice is 50 plus 7 is 50. Yeah, 57 for the first.
Oof, nice.
The second one goes bink, and that is 10.
10. All right. 57 points of damage. Is that just straight up dice rolls? That's crazy.
That's sneak attack. I've
Right.
gone up a level to 13.
Right, so it's D6 or 7D6.
76. Oh wait.
It's not double though. 'cause it's
Sorry,
not-
I'm sorry. Sorry. 25 plus 7 is 32. Sorry, 32.
There you go. I was like, that's
And then
really
the
high
second
for a
one
non-crit.
It was 10. 32, then 10.
So 42 points of damage.
Sorry.
Still not shabby by any means. All right, gotcha. As you chuck both daggers in the direction where you can see it, as it's just now at the very bottom of the fog cloud, you have just enough of visual to go ahead and strike towards it without missing, and both daggers just sink into the bottom of the creature. One of them you know was a nice, impactful wounding for any other creature, but it doesn't seem to have taken much issue with the impact of the blade.
Really?
Appear at your side again. That ends your reaction. Now, Vorugal is going to go. Looking at the area of most density.
What was his name again?
We will learn that shortly. The White Dragon.
Burgal.
The White Dragon rears up in the fog cloud and kind of dips down a little bit. Outside of the fog cloud, hitting everyone in this vicinity here.
Jeez Louise.
That's going to be Grog, Trinket, and everyone here over. So, I would like all of you to make a Constitution saving throw. Well, I'm not going to roll that many dice. I'm going to use my dice.
Come on,
roller.
guys.
I'm not gonna roll that many dice. Always a good sign.
Grog's about to lose 10% of his hit points.
I don't have enough D6s. It's 16D8. Oh, 16D6.
What?
16d6.
Or sorry, 16D8. My apologies.
Oh boy.
All right, so that comes to. All right, so Grog, what's your
25.
25? That's a success. What's Trinket's? 15. All right, that is 63 points of cold damage to Trinket.
It is unconscious.
All right. Trinket actually freezes in place. Now you can see the armor itself has about an inch thick layer of ice, as currently the eyes kind of go dull as unconsciousness takes the bear, but unable to show or reveal that. Grog, you take half that, so you are at 30. Take 32 points of cold damage. Let me roll some saves here. Average saves. Okay, so these 4 here survive. The rest of these are all entirely wiped out. And you can see now the people that were rushing in are now rushing away from the keep. People that are outside the door are just getting the fuck out of Dodge. That is going to... so yeah, that's going to be the end of the White Dragon's turn. That brings us to Vex. You're up in the fog cloud right now, so you have no visual range on the creature. You just hear all these screams and you
I
hear
can't
the blast.
see it?
No, unfortunately, the fog cloud is just high enough where it covers this area for you guys. However, you could jump off if you wanted to, make an acrobatics roll, and then maybe do your attack afterward if you wanted to try that. Your call.
Free
But-
movement.
Wouldn't I still be in the fog cloud if I was on the ground?
No, the fog cloud it's elevated up here. It starts here and then goes upward. Keyleth created it kind of in the air.
Jesus Christ.
You guys are right at the base of it right now.
So I can use my movement to jump down?
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to.
All right, I'm gonna fucking hunter's mark him.
You can't see him right now, unfortunately.
I'm gonna jump fucking down on the ground.
So you jump, go make an acrobatics check as you leap off the highest part of the wall of your keep, and all of a sudden the fog dissipates and you see the ground rushing up towards you.
14.
14. You manage to catch yourself. You aren't knocked prone, but you do suffer 5 points of damage from the fall. But you catch yourself, get up, and now you can see at the very, very base of the fog cloud the head peeking through and the wings occasionally from out underneath, and you have visual on the dragon.
Okay, I'm gonna hunter's mark him,
All right.
and I'm gonna shoot him through the Sky Sentinel
You've already used the Sky Sentinel, if I recall, against the green dragon, didn't you?
on the worms.
Was it the worm? Okay.
And I multiclassed today,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm a rogue, so I
At
can
level 1
sneak
rogue.
attack on this.
It currently does not have.
It's 20 feet in the air.
Does it know that? Does it see me?
You haven't tried to stealth, so technically
Never.
yes. As soon as you jump
Back
off
in my-
and land and kind of hurt yourself in your ankle, you look up and it
Balls.
sees
just
you there.
All kind of balls
Sorry.
around here right now. So the first attack is 25.
25 hits,
Second attack is 24.
both hit.
Third attack is 16.
16 misses.
Okay. So let me double check. An extra d6 for those other two. Okay. Um. 15 plus 7 is what?
It's
20.
Plus 7 is
22.
22, yeah.
22 on the first
Alrighty.
arrow. 15 plus 4 is 19 on the second arrow. And then I'm a little upset right now. And then I'm going to shoot the third arrow through the blazing bowstring. I mean, my second attack.
Okay.
And that doesn't hit him. So,
Okay.
good times.
So as you land, you get up, pull out your arrow, and as you pull back and release it, you can see it bursts into arcane energy and splits into 3 different arrows. 2 slamming into the fog cloud and hitting the sides of the dragon. It's kind of knocked around for a second. It looks around and its eyes peers at you. You did the additional hunter's mark damage on that, right?
I did.
Cool. You see now it's looking around, kind of choosing what its next round's going to be about, and you seem like a tasty morsel, though not entirely drew its attention at the moment. You still have a little bit of movement if you wanted to move.
Can I? No, it's,
Just for clarification, which door is back into the keep and which door
bottom
is this
one.
one? That one.
can I? Is it possible to get inside the door?
Inside of,
There's a
The
little
door
arch.
that I'm right there?
there?
She backed
Yeah,
up.
If I backed
Yeah.
up into the door,
I'd say you could.
so I'm like inside,
We'll say you're
Backed up.
inside right
barely
now.
inside.
You're just like hide inside best you can to keep out of view.
Yeah, I want to be like ducked around a wall if I can on the inside of the door.
Okay.
Okay.
That ends your turn. All right. So at that point now, your guards over here don't have. They can't see at all, but they saw you kind of jump off the side. Kendrick's gonna go ahead and take the ladder down. It's gonna be his movement just to land there. They're both gonna jump and kind of make your using your example. Cordell, not bad. And Shane. Actually, both rolled pretty well. They both managed to prevent any fall damage, catching themselves on the ground with their heavy crossbows ready. They rush up and fire both at the dragon. 5 and a 1. God damn. That hits. Ooh, and a 19. All right. So, Cordell and Shane both managed to get one shot that hits the dragon on both sides. So both bolts hit. That's 7 damage and 10 damage. So 17 damage total from them as they go and fire the heavy crossbow, go and try and reload it and get off a second shot. That ends their turn now. That brings us to Grog's turn.
I would like to rage.
Okay.
and run at Trinket.
Okay.
He's covered in how much ice?
About an inch and a half of ice. And the rest of the entities, you saw all the rest of the people that died, they all got frozen in place, and some of them like shattered in the impact, and there's just chunks of them
Is it
frozen
a
on the ground.
medicine check at this point? If they're if Trinket's frozen in ice? You can't say
You
it.
have no
Okay.
idea.
Thanks. Could I pee on him and thaw him out quickly?
Over time, you have to drink a lot beforehand.
Desecrate the mummy.
Wait a little while. Jog in place. What you got, Grog?
I would like to run to the side that's closest to you, Trinket, and I would like to start pushing him along the lawn towards the entrance to the keep.
Okay, so
Like
this
a
side
giant
there.
ice block.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check.
Okay.
Because you are raging, you have advantage on strength checks.
Thank God. 18.
18. Okay. You did suffer damage this turn. Well, you started raging this turn, so if you don't suffer damage until the beginning of the next turn, your rage ends and you have to rage again. Just a heads up.
Right.
But with that roll, though, you managed to push him, we'll say, 15 feet that direction. You're pushing a giant frozen bear, and he's just sliding against the grass in the front of the courtyard. Sweat's beginning to pop on the brow as your teeth are gritted. And looking over your shoulder, you can still hear like the snapping, and the kind of the air itself of the entire courtyard now has dropped about 20 degrees, and you can begin to see your breath just in the vicinity of this creature. Ends your turn, Grog?
Yep.
Scanlan now steps out from the inside the keep, as Sam is texting me what he wants to do. He rushes out at this point, seeing all of this from the inside. He whips out his wand of fireballs and aims it up at the bottom of the dragon that is now visible underneath. As you see now, the edge of the wand just flickers red for a second before a little bead of light streaks forward and detonates beneath it. The dragon would fail at saving throw. It's going to use his legendary resistance once to auto-save, so it takes half damage. He is going to use... What did he tell me? How many spots I want to do? Okay, so he's going to use three of its charges to do this one. That'll put it at... Let's see.
The what?
Don't use your charges.
What is he doing?
It's trying to resist. Scoundrel just sent a fireball at it, and it's
36
fucking
damage halved from him, so that still puts it at 17 points of fire damage to it. Not too shabby. As it blasts out from the opposite side of it to the bottom of the cloud, keeping everyone else outside of the collateral damage radius of the fireball because of its height. So that's good. Scanlan then, realizing the circumstance, uses the rest of his movement to get back into the very corner of the keep and kind of defend himself against the wall. That's going to end Scanlan's turn. Pike, you're up.
All right, can I run over to where Trinket is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm gonna cure wounds on him.
Okay. So you move over to Trinket.
Gung, 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 gung.
Go ahead and cast Cure Wounds.
Okay, I'm gonna
Put
fourth
buckets on your
level.
feet.
4th level, okay.
Hold on 1 second. Go big, go
So
big.
4d8 plus 5.
On the floor.
You got some good ideas.
Too high. I can't do anything. I can try and throw it.
I know. It's
Get some cover.
Dang. 30.
30. Trinket heals up. As Pike reaches out, grasping her symbol in one hand, the look of desperation on her face, her hand goes out and touches the ice, and as her hand touches, her fingers melt through the ice from the divine energy in her fingertips and manages to touch Trinket's fur beneath. As the divine energy filters through her body, Trinket's form glows from the inside, and the ice begins to crack before it all shatters off of Trinket's body, and Trinket kind of catches himself and shakes off what little bit of remaining ice and moisture is on the coat.
Good job, Pike.
Yes.
I want to scratch behind his ears.
Okay, Trinket nudges you and licks your face before looking up and growling very angrily at the dragon.
I don't think Vex saw any of that. Like Vex doesn't even know he was under.
You gotta go revenant on that bear.
This is an angry bear. And those who've seen the movie know how scary an angry bear is. Great. Pike, you still have a little bit of movement if you want to move. You have like 15 more feet if you wanted to use that. Your call.
Okay, you guys are my eyes, so I can't really
You're
see
right
it from
here at the moment.
But I guess anywhere where there's cover.
Okay.
So maybe, is that a tree?
You can start moving towards the tree or the front of the keep. Tree's closer, but currently has 2 other people hiding there.
Or behind the
Okay,
Goliath.
What was that?
Or behind the Goliath.
Yeah.
All
I'll
right.
go behind
So you
the
move over
Goliath.
here and you use Grog as cover, we'll say, as you kind of leap over there. Classic Pike Grog technique. Cool. Ends your turn. The rest of these survivors on this side of the wall are just going to start fleeing in this direction, using their turn to just get the hell out. These guys here are just going to do full round dash to get inside the keep, and they managed to make it inside. These guys here are moving back. Actually, no. These guys, now they're inside of the keep, are going to run. They get almost all the way to the keep. There we go. Dwarf gets about that far. This guy almost makes it in. They're all right at the cusp of getting into the keep, screaming and running past you, just kind of moving between the different frozen bodies, not even paying attention to any of you as the look of sheer terror on their faces has taken over. That brings us to the top of the round. Percy, you're up.
All right, I'm gonna drop down like a boss.
You're going to leap or climb down?
I'm gonna leap.
All right. And roll.
29.
29, success, and managed to avoid one of your guards who was right below you. You weren't aware. You managed to dodge off to the side this way, and use the edge of the wall to kick off to change your trajectory as you land, carrying bad news in one hand, 3-point landing in the other.
Sick, Percy.
Hold that gun up from the ground.
Yep. Just making sure it doesn't damage itself.
Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate really hard, and I'm going to try and conjure hex to see if it works.
Okay. So as you focus and look up, you can see now some of the fog cloud that surrounds it congeals into a darker color and then clings to the dragon's form as it is now hexed by you.
Still works.
It seems that as long as the shadow entity has been within you, though it is no longer bound to your weapon and yourself,
Scarred for life.
It did leave some dark scars on your soul.
Left a taint upon you.
So just to remind you, that means that he has disadvantage on all agility checks.
Are you choosing dexterity? Or are you choosing... Because you choose which one of the...
On which checks?
Yes,
Constitution.
Constitution, all right. So I'll put that at...
I like it. I like it.
Fancy.
Good to know. I'm sure that's how it works here, so I don't yell it later.
Ability checks, any ability.
On ability checks, yes.
Constitution, good pick.
Good to know.
I'm going to spend a grit point.
Okay.
I'm going to take another shot to try and drop him.
Even further?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Just for fun.
Because saving throws are
Are they not?
Are they?
Because I'll use that grit point for something else if
I don't believe saving throws are considered ability checks, unfortunately. So that wouldn't affect that. Yeah, it's its own circumstance.
It's its own circumstance. In that case, I'm going to spend my point for Deadeye.
Okay.
So
Advantage on the shot?
advantage on the shot.
Go for it.
And do I want to go nuts? I'm going to go nuts. I'm going to add sharpshooter to that. Might as well.
You cannot overlap.
I cannot
the
overlap
shots.
sharpshooter with advantage. Okay,
You
never
only have
mind
one
that.
shot effect and attack at a time.
That's
sorry.
fine. Here we go.
Come on, go nuts.
Both 13, 23, 25.
25 hits.
2d12.
And add your 1d6 damage as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. 17 points of damage plus 4 points of necrotic damage.
Nice. 21 damage total.
I'm going to duck into that. I'm going to use the rest of my movement to duck in there.
In there along with...
Along with, like, I want to try and spin all the way back so I'm completely out of sight.
All right.
Is that door open?
A little bit of space there. I mean,
Open the door.
Does that lead to our key?
No, it's the other door that leads to our key.
There we go. Look at
So
that.
we're both going to get in and do a wallet.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to take one of my few remaining potions.
The medium
Does the
potion?
door actually open on it?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
What's the
mage knight.
mid-range potion do? I should really start writing this down. Is it one
Mid-range potion?
2d4?
Which one?
The second level potion.
Of healing, you mean?
Yeah.
That is...
10d10.
Definitely 10.
Yeah, not so much. It's second level, the greater healing is 4d4 plus 4.
44 plus 4.
You got it.
I'm good.
All right, cool. That ends Percy's turn. Vax, you're up.
I want to double check. Boots of speed that I wear, it's 10 rounds each day. The haste effect's duration need not be consecutive rounds. So it was like 1 or 2 back in Iman, and I've had 1 round here.
That's for the old Pathfinder.
Oh, that's
rules
old.
in the
So what is it,
read-up.
10 minutes now? I think I
No,
remember a
it,
10-minute thing.
haste lasts for a minute. It's just you get to use the spell
it's
on you
gone
once.
then. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Right.
In this rule set, that's a little too much. So.
All right, so I'm going to dash towards the tree in that corner and get away from this clump of my friends.
Over this way.
Towards the wall, yeah. I should
okay.
be able to get behind that tree, I think, if I dash.
You dash. Yeah.
Eye potion.
Yeah. You get over there. Behind that way.
Okay. So then I'm just going to throw a dagger. It's all I can do.
All right. That is.
Can I use an action to hide?
Uh,
Or is it just bonus action only?
as you throw it, the arc just misses the bottom. What's the maximum range on the dagger? Right.
Whoa, I'm asking, instead of throwing a dagger, can I hide instead?
You could. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, because right now it's at 60 feet away, but it's at an upward angle at you, which adds a little more distance. Your dagger would miss at this range, and you would know that.
So I'm running bulls out to that tree, and then I'm going to go right up against the tree and just fucking wait. Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Go right around.
All right, did you roll stealth?
Oh, sure.
Do that.
So maybe I should just
I'm going to use luck. I still have a little luck today. Good,
Go
that's
for it.
better. 31.
31. Good. Okay, that ends your turn. Keyleth, you're up.
Oh God. Okay, I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid if I throw up a wall of stone or anything like that, he'll just be able to be like, "Oh, well, I'm a fucking dragon, so I'll just go to the other side of the wall." Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start running towards the keep.
Mm-hmm.
Start running towards the keep.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and cast Conjure Woodland Beings,
Okay.
and I'm going to summon a giant eagle.
Oh,
Yeah.
So as this is dropping my fog cloud since,
yeah.
that was real fucking useful.
So, were you conjuring it?
I'm gonna conjure it right, if I can kind of conjure it on the other side of him to where I want it to then, I can then have it do an attack, correct?
If you want to,
In
yeah.
the same turn.
Yeah.
I command it to go for its eyeballs.
Eagle to the fucking face.
Eagle to the eye!
Eagle to the eye!
Okay. Ow! Eagle.
Oh, that's inauspicious.
Eagle
There we go.
down.
All right. So as the eagle goes up, do you have the stats for the eagle?
That eagle is really, really close to that dragon.
America!
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, right, he's attacking. Right.
Yeah.
His talons.
So you got to roll. Gotta roll for damage on that.
Probably he's more of a distraction.
Ooh.
This is
Like,
conjure.
16? 19.
Which spell is this again? This is conjure.
Conjure Woodland Beings.
Conjure woodland beings.
It's a 4th level spell.
Level spell. Thank you.
Plus
All right. Great.
So 19. Oh, wait.
No.
Plus 5 is 21.
Oh, I have to roll initiative for it separately as part of the spell. Roll the 20.
It rolled a
Yeah.
Go, Eagle, go!
So I'll say, given that case, I'll let it go ahead and go immediately. But next turn it starts at 20.
Okay.
That's pretty close to what you got it.
It rolled a 21 on its attack.
21 hits actually.
Yeah!
Go, Eagle,
Get
go!
those eyeballs!
Right in the eyes.
Just barely hits or hits?
The heart of Stephen Colbert right in its eyes.
It's close to barely hitting.
Yeah!
2d6, so there's 11 plus 3, 14 points of damage.
14 points of damage. As the
Right in
eagle
its face.
and starts clawing at it, you can see the dragon kind of rears back. Unexpected to see the sudden giant eagle appear out of the middle of the air and go clawing at its face. You can see it kind of rears back as it does so, moving its head out of the way. Gets a couple scratches in. It's still an ancient dragon.
Sure.
It's more spooked than really hurting from the impact, but it caught it off guard
But
temporarily.
it's supposed to be a distraction. All right. And then I used just a bonus action to be like, everyone inside!
All right, that's your turn.
Yeah.
Now it is the white dragon's turn. Let's see if its breath weapon returns. Nope, rolled a 1.
Ha! Take that.
Oh, doggy.
Sorry.
So instead, it's going to ignore the eagle.
Right.
as instead it lands right about there.
It lands.
It lands. As its impact, the whole ground shakes around you. As you were pushing Trinket, you look over your shoulder as the shadow kind of encompasses the area, and as you look over, you see it land with a heavy impact. Giant, frozen, gnashing teeth as mist just kind of emanates from the side of its jaws. It's going to use its multi-attack, including its frightful presence. I need everybody to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Including us in the inside?
Yep. As it rears back and gives off a horrible roar that just shakes the stones of the actual keep.
23.
Okay.
18.
18.
7.
Plus a 0.
8 for me.
Oh, Scanlan rolled a 19. Good.
And 19 for drinking.
Actually, I'm gonna spend my resolve and reroll
Reverse
that.
those.
Okay, go for
That
it.
bear is goddamn mad.
I'm frightened, so I'll fucker.
10.
Okay, everyone who
Wait,
rolled
no, wait.
an 18 or lower.
18 or lower?
18 or lower, it shakes you to your core. You suddenly really realize what you're dealing with here, and the fear causes you to fight with the fight or flight impulse in your body. You are considered frightened.
Too late for luck. I got one more
I
charge.
can't be charmed or frightened.
If you want. Yeah, you're still raging, so it doesn't affect you.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So while you are frightened, you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while it's within your line of sight,
Okay.
Man, I wish we would have had a fancy.
and you cannot move closer to it willingly. You can only move away from it.
So
or
attack
same
rolls
distance.
and what was the
Ability
other?
checks.
Ability
for
checks.
disadvantage.
Thank you.
While you can see it,
Wow.
you're just so
What is it really
scared of this
called?
thing.
Heroes Feast.
Heroes Feast.
Fancy Feast is a whole
Fancy
other.
Feast is way better.
Fancy
Lower level,
Feast,
but
it's renamed.
helpful.
I like chicken. I like liver.
Feast.
Meow mix, please deliver.
In the middle of White Death.
It's going to make a bite attack against Pike and 2 claw attacks against Grog. We're right there. So,
Okay.
Pike, you look up as its jaws just come down at you from above. That's a natural 20. And then against you, Grog, 2 claw attacks. That is 23
Come on, Taint Smear.
and 22.
Tickles, both of them.
Okay, so against you, Grog, you take
Wait, I thought that was against Grog.
No, the bite was.
the bite was against Pike. 2 claws against you.
Oh, okay.
So, Grog, you take 15 points of slashing damage, reduced to half because you're raging.
8.
So, 8. And then the other claw, that's a little higher. That is going to be a 18 points of slashing damage.
9.
So, down to 9.
Honey
So, you
badger.
take
So,
that.
so wait, so Pike was the one that took those huge?
Pike,
huge hits?
Pike
Took the bite.
took the critical bite.
They haven't done yet.
Are you okay, Pike?
We don't know yet.
We're about
He
to
hasn't
find
rolled.
out.
I don't know. Critical bite.
What's Pike's AC? What's Pike's AC?
A
My
critical
CC, 20.
20, but it rolled a critical
But
hit.
it already hit.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh, what's that face?
No!
Don't do that.
so 17 times 2.
No!
Ah!
34 plus 8. 42 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
However, you then also suffer as the freezing jaws clench around you and the cold surrounds you. You suffer an additional, so that's 40, what was it? It was 40, 42, right?
Yeah.
I think you just said 2. You just said 2.
No. It's not- 13 points of cold damage. So 55 points of damage total.
Where you at, Pike?
Are you okay?
I am at, hold on.
Carry the
Hold
3.
on.
Carry the 3.
Hold on,
Little bit
one
of math,
second.
dear.
1 second, let me check.
Okay, I'm at 25.
Oh.
Alrighty.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Could be worse.
That ends its
We
turn.
fighting this thing or we running?
That's what I was about to ask. Are we fighting or are we running?
We're
Is
getting
it
our fucking
ancient?
asses
Is it
handed to
ancient?
us.
It's
He keeps saying
Ancient.
ancient, so it's ancient.
That brings us to Vex's turn.
My turn. I'm feared.
Yeah, so you can attack it. You just
Can't move
you,
closer.
you can't move closer to it, and you have disadvantage on all your attacks.
What can we do to unfear?
That you repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns.
Okay, then
Or
I'm gonna
last
use
for a
my
minute.
bonus round to hide
Okay,
the stealth.
so we'll go and roll stealth check.
Are we staying or are we going?
We can't
win
join
this.
you right now. We're stuck.
We're stuck where we are because we can't run closer to
You
it.
can run away from it.
Well,
You have disadvantage on the stealth check, by
I
the way.
did, and it was 23.
23, gotcha.
Who's not feared?
Oh, it's disadvantage, but I had advantage.
So it's just straight roll.
Even. I don't remember what the first.
I wasn't paying
Reroll
attention.
it.
They're not
Should I re-roll it? Because I don't.
We'll take the 23, it's
Okay.
fine. Okay. You are inside, and you know it's outside, and you heard the roar, and you're shaking, and so you can peek around the corner, but you cannot move out of the building.
Okay.
So you basically kind of strafe to the side to get a look out as you want to.
Okay, I guess I'll try to shoot it then.
Okay, go for it. So disadvantage on both of your attacks.
Okay.
I want to fucking
Trinket shrugged it
hack at
off. Trinket's
We
like,
got it.
whatever, I got this.
No.
go.
Okay.
Good,
so
good.
that was good. That was good.
gotta
So
leave.
26 with a
26 hits?
disadvantage.
All right.
Okay. So.
Second attack?
I'm like,
you want to roll that as
Oh,
well?
I'll just do the first one
Okay.
right now. 'cause
If
I'm
we're
already
running, I don't
doing
want to bust out any of my big shit.
We
You
gotta
know.
run, right? I think
We're gonna get a
stupid
short
if we
rest
stay.
if we're running at some point anyway.
But
So
where do we go?
Save it.
If we're outdoors, we're dead.
Can't we go downstairs
We're
into the
going down.
basement?
And then go where?
And let me know where. Can you
Basement.
get inside the couch?
Sure, you can dig.
22.
I don't
One of
know.
them dug
22
through
hits.
Because
that
that got
cave.
the sneak attack, right? Because I'm
Dug through
hiding.
the cave.
Yes, because you are technically hiding, and it did not roll high enough in perception.
Okay, so
strangely.
23 was the damage on the first arrow.
All right, good. Was that including the sneak attack D6?
Staying and fighting.
Great.
I don't know where to go. We can't go above ground because we're
No,
dead.
the second one I don't think hits. It was like an 18.
Nope, that misses.
We gotta at least
So
get
the
these
first
in.
one you fire, and it manages to hit the creature. Because it does not see you, it hits in the side of the neck and it looks over.
So if we go inside,
Then
we
it
think
goes
I duck
in-
back
it's-
behind the
comes
wall.
in and that's it.
Okay, so behind the wall. You did reveal yourself as part of the strike, and
Yeah.
it does see you duck inside. It kind of like growls.
Okay, and I'm gonna send Trinket
Something in our keep
into the
that
keep if he can make it.
I don't
Okay.
think it has beef with us. I
Trinket
think
is
it
going to
just-
rush this
Is that
way.
should I send Trinket into the keep? Yeah.
Gets an attack of
I think it
opportunity against
does.
Trinket.
Balls! What? Really?
but it's holding Pike, so it has no bite.
Well, no, I didn't like grapple her. It just bit her and
Okay.
then
Oh,
released.
so
as it
she's
pulled
not
away. Like, she
grappled.
managed to get her way out of its mouth. That's going to be a
He's gonna
26 to hit.
Go. Oh Jesus! It hits. Come on.
All right, so Trinket takes
Fucking die just by fucking. grinding.
14 points of slashing damage,
All right.
Okay.
He's fine.
but manages to get away.
Barely.
Fine.
Oh, well, I see what you did there. All right, is that end your turn?
Yeah.
Did
Okay.
you do saving throw?
Do your saving throw to see if you shrug off the fright.
Oh,
ability.
okay. So is it wisdom?
Yeah.
It's wisdom based, yeah.
Ooh. 18, 19.
19 is just what you need. You managed to shake off the fright from this.
Yes!
Seeing Trinket rush off, you're like, okay, I can do this. At the end of your turn, the white dragon's going to
I'm
use...
not afraid anymore. You hear that?
You have no power over me.
It's going to go ahead and use 2 of its actions to do a wing attack.
Shut.
So every creature within 15 feet of it, as it kind of, it's sitting there now, it kind of beats its wings whoosh, around it. As it does, it kicks up all this cold wind and air that just blasts out, threatening to knock you off your feet. This is going to affect Grog, Pike, and Shane. So I need you guys to make a dexterity saving throw.
Pike, get out of there.
Dexterity saving throw.
I'm trying.
I have advantage on those
Fucking roll
because of
advantage.
danger sense.
You do.
You're so.
that's the first time
you're
I've
so
ever-
strong.
Natural 20? Yeah!
Nice!
Fuck yeah.
I don't have any dexterity modifier.
Cool. So
We're gonna get past it.
that, all right, so yeah, so you guys, see if Shane does not make it with a 2, so Shane takes 15 points of bludgeoning damage and is knocked prone. She just, like, as she's rushing up, now she's dropped her heavy crossbow, and she's pulling her weapon out, she rushes up, yelling, her red hair kind of blown back from the wind as it's beating towards her. She gets bludgeoned with the sheer force of the wind from under the wings and knocked flat on her back. At the end of that attack, it now gets to move half its movement, and so it,
I can attack.
at a movement of,
Just landed. I thought it was going to be barbecue.
there we go, a fly speed of 80, it's going to move 40 feet.
I
So that'll put it 20 up this way, so it starts backing away.
can't see.
And it's going to move 20 feet this direction.
I
and
get an
lift
attack
up.
of opportunity on it, right?
As it pulls away from you, yes, you do.
Yeah, do we both get one?
Pike gets one too.
No, actually, neither of you. No, Grog's the only one that does, because Pike, you're too far away. It has reach on its attack, so it doesn't have to be right up against you to hit you. but you still have to be up against it to get an attack.
22.
22.
Does that hit?
22 hits, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is with Craven Edge.
Kill him!
Come on, you evil motherfucker.
Kill him with Craven Edge.
19 points of damage.
19 points of damage, got it. All right,
Ass-
and make its Constitution save.
Ask Bacon what to do.
That's a
Disadvantage.
20 on not in saving
On
throws.
saves.
Damn it.
24.
Checks.
He will
Resist it?
succeed.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, cool.
You fucking piece of shit!
So that ends Vex's turn. The guards now.
Happy with this one.
She's gonna get up. She's now gonna regret dropping her crossbow, and it's gonna go over and pick it up again. She's not gonna have time to fire it. The other two down here, the other two guards, which is gonna be. Now Cordell's over here. Cordell's gonna turn around and fire off a shot, as well as Kendrick. It's a natural 1. That does hit. That does not. And that does not. So 1 hit gets through. Rolling 1's like crap, so it's 5 points of piercing damage. Not great on that round, guards. Then they're going to start rushing towards the keep here with the rest of their movement. Cordell's going to move to the side and start ushering everybody inside. Go in, go in, go in! Shane is going to move up next to you, Grog, and essentially begin to kind of hold the flank with you, kind of shoulder to shoulder. She, as opposed to the crossbow at this point, she kind of sees the two of you can work together in this regard, and she pulls out a broadsword. Let's see. That's going to end the guard's turn. Grog, you're up.
Fuck this dragon. As much as I would love to protect this house, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Is Pike right behind me?
Pike is, yes.
Can
feel like we can
I
take it.
grab her and run inside the keep?
If Pike will allow it. Are you gonna let Grog do that, or are you gonna fight him on it?
No.
No, I can't do it.
No.
No
Just
fighting.
grab me. Let's
Okay.
go.
So you reach over, grab
do
Pike,
it to get
lift her
here.
up, and the two of you just go bolting towards the keep.
Grog.
That'll get you right here within the crowd.
Oh,
You
jeez.
get to the edge of
Don't
the door.
attack the crowd.
50 feet?
50 feet, but you're also having to push through people, so you're getting up. We'll say,
Yeah, little meat sticks. It's not a problem.
say as you're pushing through here, you get up to the door. You guys are right up there with the full
I don't
movement.
even damage him. I don't give a shit.
There you go. That's your turn.
Don't.
The action was to pick her up. Okay.
We're all gonna die
Out of the way.
anyway.
Giant beast coming.
Scanlan at the back is kind of seeing you guys rushing, and he's happy to see Pike, coming into safety at this point. He pulls out his wand again and aims once more with the fireball.
Dragon giggles.
So he's going to use the...
Tickles.
That tickles.
Technically, fire damage should be
Really good against
good
him.
against this.
Fire damage isn't doing anything additional to it.
That's not
Good to
cool.
know.
Don't say it smug like that. Jeez.
That would be
For our lives.
29 damage. Makes the save, so 15 points of fire damage to it as it blasts from underneath, singes the edge of one of the trees, but the white dragon appears to still just be not really visibly hurting yet.
Yep, gotta go.
Oh, yeah. No.
It's
Gotta
not
go.
visibly hurting.
Gotta go.
Scanlan
Yeah.
backs up into the keep at this realization. At that point, it's going to use... nothing's right in range. So yeah, the white dragon's not going to do anything. At this point in time,
Nope.
you guys hear a voice come ringing out from the north side towards where Amon is. A familiar voice that you've heard before that shouts out,
Enough! You are not to linger. Follow the others.
at which point you see the white dragon kind of glances over the shoulder, and you hear the voice again say,
Vorugal!
and in a streak of smoke and red, the red dragon you saw that had perched itself in the center of the city just grapples onto the back of Vorugal and throws the dragon off the edge of the wall and goes tumbling to the south of the keep, out from the perspective.
So how much bigger is
Vorgol.
Double the size?
Like, is he?
It's roughly double the size of
Double the
the
size.
white dragon Vorgal that you just battled.
Let's go fight that one.
Is this Umbrasyl? Was he referred to himself as Umbrasyl?
No, you haven't heard the name of this until that point, where I mentioned it earlier. But yeah,
No,
the
the
red
red
dragon.
dragon.
the red dragon you haven't heard the name of yet.
Fuck.
Umbrasyl was the
Greg.
black dragon,
He was the black dragon. All right.
and Raishan was the green dragon.
Great Johnson.
So as you hear the impact, and the impact, you hear the dragon screeching out in anger. No one has any visual at this point. You just hear the sounds over the side. You hear it skid to a halt, but the red dragon is still flying. It just kind of grabs it, throws it, makes it hit the ground, almost like a show of dominance. And as it arcs back around, it ignores the keep and heads back towards Iman. You see Vurugal now lifting back up into the sky, kind of staring back at the red dragon as it heads back, and you can see just in its general demeanor, it's frustrated and angry, and it kind of begrudgingly begins to fly towards the east where you saw the other two dragons continue. As the red dragon returns towards the city, its voice is ringing out at a volume that even at this distance is being enhanced by some sort of arcane means, whether it wants to be heard. And as you can see now, as it hits over the far south walls of Iman, it shouts out once more,
Hear me, insects! You that live, do so out of mercy. Fight or flee, and you forfeit that mercy. Know that your pitiful guardians brought this upon you. That blood is on their hands. Vengeance has been swift, and in its wake, a new age is upon you.
making its way towards the center of the city.
Be thankful, for until now your lives had no purpose, no meaning. Abandon your gods, your paltry convictions, for now you have a new purpose: to serve me!
And with that, you hear the clattering impact once more of the Cloudtop District as a half dozen buildings collapse under its weight as it slams into the center of what probably still stood tall in the middle of the city of Amon. You hear the crumbling wreckage echoing in the distance as it slides to a halt. And a couple of distant slamming sounds as it kind of makes its way into the central borough where the palace once was. Quiet now takes the air as all the people are still standing frozen in fright of what they just saw, and slowly begin making their way into the keep, kind of whispering, shaking, crying under their breaths, the survivors that are not frozen in the center of Greyskull Keep's courtyard. What do you want to do?
P?
That is entirely viable.
Everyone, we need to go inside.
Yes.
Is this because of us?
Can we heal the frozen people?
Is this because of us?
Possible.
Don't know.
You guys make your way out towards the people that are currently frozen in the courtyard. Do you want to use the cure wounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. You use what level?
2.
2. Okay.
How many people are frozen?
Currently, I'd say about 14 people are frozen in the courtyard.
Can we all just do medicine checks?
6 of them are partially shattered. Like, as part of the impact, their bodies, like, and part of the torso is just busted.
So I can
Arms
finish
missing,
them
upper
off?
body's missing. As you cast your second level cure spell and you reach out and touch the person to heal them, a crack forms where your hand touched the body before the upper part of their torso, head, and leg just breaks into ice. And you get the feeling looking around that these individuals are beyond saving at this point.
It's too long, it's too late.
Inside, everyone inside, now.
Yeah, we all go inside.
Come along.
All right. So, you guys make your way inside the keep. People are kind of just looking about. Some people are just running through the rooms trying to find a place to keep safe. You can see already in the armory, there's like a family in there that are huddling, just kind of crouched in the corner. Some people have moved on towards the kitchen. Some people are shouting, trying to see if anybody they lost eye contact with is inside. You hear a couple people shouting names. Sean! Kayla! Different names being shouted as if they're hoping that somebody that they got separated from may have made it in. A couple do. A few seem to continue to shout fruitlessly. But the inside energy of the keep is one of tension, fear, and mounting sadness.
Can I find Irvin? Or
You can. You told the people within the keep to go downstairs.
yes,
to
I
hold
go.
up.
I go and find him and tell him to start setting up as many beds as he can, as many in the cathedral that we have to in the chapel, to maybe give some of these people places to stay for the time being.
All right. So
Can I go into the temple?
You can. As you head downstairs too, you can see Jarrett is still there sitting with his crossbow on his lap, and he's been doing his last duty, which was to watch over your workshop. And as you come downstairs, he goes, "What's going on? I heard noises upstairs. Is everyone all right?"
No.
Everything's gone.
May I be excused to aid Irvin in this duty?
Please do.
All right. He gets up and puts his crossbow away, heads upstairs with Irvin, and Lena kind of is still shaking. She goes, "For having guests, should I make food? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do."
Simple food.
Right, all right.
Fruit. Anything.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start preparing it.
Percy, can
Yes.
I have a word with you, please?
I step inside my workshop.
Can I go? May I come in?
Yes, of course.
Can you shut the door?
Is there anywhere private in this place at this point, or
Nobody's in the workshop yet.
Nobody's in the basement workshop area. Everyone's seemingly just scattered on the base floor of the keep.
all right,
Can you lock it?
all right.
Listen, the skull that we took out of that house, I haven't told you, but it grants a wish. And only those that dark things have touched can use it. That's you, and that's me, as far as I know. It said it wanted you, but I wasn't gonna let him have you. It grants a wish we can change all of this. I feel like it was there in case the dragons came out of that portal. It was facing the inside of the room, it moves, there's something in there. I feel like it's a weapon. What the fuck else are we gonna do? We go for more help, it'll get killed coming to this city. We're not strong enough to take 4 of these fucks.
Have an opportunity here, but we're going to have to be careful.
Listening?
All right. We're going to need more than just you. We're going to need a few of the others, just in case.
They have to be touched.
This is how it's going to work. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to have you go. I'm going to remove it from its hiding place while you go get the rest of them from upstairs
Who?
down
Rest
here.
of who?
At the very least, Vax, Keyleth, at the very least.
Keyleth? She's
I need-
bleached whiter than, Whitestone.
Exactly. We need good people, and I'm going to try and talk to it. To try and discern what it is and how it works and what it wants. And if for some strange reason things go wrong, I need people who would be more than willing to, at the very least, knock me out. So I'm going to be needing you, and at least one other, preferably a magic user, ready to deal with me if something goes weird.
I step closer to Percy. I think you only need me.
I need one other, just in case.
Name one other.
Keyleth. Or Vax, pick your choice, honestly. Whoever's less busy upstairs.
All right. I leave.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the skull out of the hiding place so that he doesn't see where I'm removing it from.
Okay. While this is happening, Pike, Keyleth, Vex, Scanlan, all of you guys begin helping the guards take beds out of your rooms and bringing them downstairs into the main foyer area, basically turning this into a makeshift living space for refugees. Heading towards and moving him into the Temple of Sarenrae. As you go into the Temple of Sarenrae, you get a bit of a feel of the damage that was sustained from the impact of the dragon upon the top of the keep.
I follow Pike into the temple.
A large portion of the stained glass on the roof and on the outside has been shattered from rocks and boulders that were chunks of the top of the keep that were knocked off. And looking up, you can see the roof of the keep itself has sustained a fair amount of damage. Not enough to really be of a serious issue, but it is in a bit of disrepair visually. As you guys are taking the beds from the upstairs to the downstairs, you do notice that a portion of the roof has caved in on the second floor. The guest room has been ruined, and the southmost room, which I'll have to check to see who is supposed to be living there, is partially collapsed inward. You can see the ceiling or the sky from underneath. There is a fair amount of damage to the top of the keep from the impact.
I just kind of back into a corner in the temple and collapse into a corner.
Okay.
Could I? I'd like to go over to a quiet spot in the temple and start saying a prayer.
Okay.
And I'd like to cast Planar Ally.
Okay.
Which you besiege an otherworldly entity for aid. So I would like to call on Sarenrae.
All right, let me pull this up here. What level is this?
It's a 6th level.
All right.
So,
Let's see here.
you have to ask the creature to perform a service in exchange for payment.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So yeah,
but,
Spells.
so yeah, what would you like to do?
well, I think I just, if I'm, I don't know. I think if I say, Sarenrae, I've been rebuilding your temple for months, so please help us in battle and help us rebuild our city. If that's service enough.
Okay. So, as you reach out, you feel Sarenrae's warmth come to you, wordless, attempting to comfort, but even then there is a trepidation in Sarenrae, who is, you gather herself, still kind of taking in these circumstances that have happened. You feel that warmth begin to coalesce into a specific form, and everyone who has come into the temple with you kind of gasps aloud as over the central worship platform in the center of the temple, a glowing orb begins to form that then slowly takes the form of a humanoid with wings similar to the ones that you wore in your celestial form. As the light fades, you can see, just levitating roughly a foot off the ground, a human, white eyes, pale blue skin, hairless, with a simple breastplate that's silver with gold lining on it, a single sword sheathed at the side, and a beautiful pair of white angel wings sprouting from its back as the entity stands there, looks down towards you. I have been sent to your aid. Are you, Pike Trickfoot, to give me a task? The voice itself seems otherworldly. And understanding the basis of this spell, you need a specific task in mind for it, and it is expensive to maintain in materials the longer the task requires.
Okay. We need your help. As you can see, our city has fallen to pieces by these dragons that are attacking us. And we just ask that you aid us in battle somehow.
Lead me to a battle if you wish. I haven't much time on your plane. If you have a task I can complete at this moment. And you know, this, to maintain the spell, costs about 100 gold per minute.
Okay. Ah, shit. Okay.
or 1,000 gold an hour, depending on the, or 10,000 gold per day.
Don't leave home without it. Just pay for it.
Dial 1-900.
Depends.
Sundry.
Yeah, depends on the task you require. It needs to be a little more specific than just aid us in battle if there isn't an immediate battle happening, because the longer it's out, the more expensive it'll be. You ask to rebuild, and it looks to you and says, "If you require my aid in rebuilding," and she puts her head around the temple, "this I can help with quite a bit of haste, as it is within the realm of our patron lady."
Okay. Well, yes, rebuild our keep.
It'll be done within the hour. And so you can mark off 1,000 gold worth of materials. And at this point, the planar ally's wings unfurl and begin to float up. And as it does, it lifts its hands, and all these shattered stained glass begins to kind of lift off the ground with it. And you watch as they all begin to reform
It's pretty sick.
and begin to, through just pure divine energy, rebuild the entirety of the temple around within a matter of minutes. While everyone else is kind of looking in awe, and you can begin to see around you many people who had been shaken to the core of their being, who had lost all hope. Even just this visual representation of the power of Sarenrae and the faith that you put into her, you can see people are now bowing in deep prayer at the center of the temple as it's being rebuilt. This has been a very impactful moment for the survivors you've taken under your wing.
I wander over to Pike and I just grab her hand as I watch.
All right.
I am busy myself trying to bandage any of the survivors that seem injured.
Okay. And there are injuries, many sustained from just, rubble falling or just trying to get out as fast as possible, slamming themselves into ruins or fallen rock and flame and whatever else has happened. So you tend to the wounds. You guys are helping out with those that are hurt.
I'm helping, and as we do so, I say, I don't know what is going to happen in the following hours. Do not go far from me. If we are out of earshot, you are too far from me. Do not go far from me.
Do you think this is what... Do you think this is what Mother saw before she died?
Do not go far from me.
I won't, I swear.
Percy and Grog, you find your way back up to the foyer. You see...
Before the second he leaves the keep, I rush to pull my room. I rush to pull the skull out, shut the door, put it on the table, sit down in front of it, and say, "Okay, talk. You have my attention."
Okay.
So I've got a minute before he comes back.
You do. You do.
He's a dick.
He's just a sociopath, that's all.
Hello, everybody. On this week's No Survivors, we're...
Fire and ice sail.
Hey, check out those Critical Role shirts on geekandSundry.com. They sure are lovely.
Donate to 826LA.
Hey.
If I wished the entire town to be fixed and the dragons banished to the other end of the ocean.
Oh god, I feel like I should scooch over.
I know, I can't hear it.
That's a long talk.
It's a long talk.
Last question. At what price?
What is he saying? Oh my gosh.
Okay.
All right. Sorry.
I then take the velvet cloth and put it back over and set it up as if I haven't talked.
Okay. All right. So, and once again, reminding you, the skull itself, it's humanoid, but it's elongated. It's not a human skull. Its jaw itself is you would say almost elvish, but the features are too sunken. The teeth are too long, and the skull itself is a little more oblong to the back. Yeah, you're unfamiliar what species or race this may have been when it was alive.
As I was leaving, can I notice anything about the back of his door? Just like, is it a lock? Is it just flat, plain?
All right, making a decision.
I'm gonna go ahead and make an investigation
Maybe.
check.
You don't know.
13.
-2, you asshole.
As you stop walking out, you turn and look at the door and you take a moment to inspect it. I mean, Grog, doors are doors. You know how to deal with doors. This is a weird door.
My
I
door?
don't know how this door works.
Weird door. Yeah,
My
weird
door's
door.
unlocked.
Right, but he doesn't understand the mechanism of which
Weird
it
door
is
for a
locked.
weird
no.
guy.
No,
bet-
I built this with you in
bet I
mind.
can figure out the lock from the inside, and I open the door and it opens.
Okay.
Because it's unlocked.
Right. As soon as you throw the velvet over, the door opens up.
I'll go up and I try and find Vax.
Okay. You go up and you see the two of them kind of helping people along, making eye contact. You can see the drying tears across both their faces as they're trying to stay strong for those that are currently in a less emotionally stable position right now.
Sorry to break up an awkward moment. Vax, do you have a moment?
What do you need?
May I speak to you alone? No offense, Vax.
None taken. I go and help other people and call a trinket to like carry over some bandages for me.
Okay.
You and I may have had some friction recently. And we have our differences, but we're on the same side. Percy needs you downstairs. Will you come with me?
I look at my sister. What is it? What does he need?
I would tell you, but I don't want to frighten anyone in this room. It's about the skull, and I can only bring one. Percy's request.
Wait here.
No, I have to come with you.
Just wait a second. Walk over to my sister. I'm going downstairs. If I am not back here in 5 minutes, I want you to come down. Do you understand? And I say that because I need you. You are stronger than me, and I will need you. Tend to the wounded. 5 minutes. I follow Grog.
All right.
Back downstairs.
I hunter's mark Grog as he walks away.
What?
I don't
Okay.
know. I just do.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and say, make a sleight of hand check. Make a perception check.
Oh, I'm sure this will go dandy. 19!
Fucking hey.
Oh no, I'm so excited right now. Everything's dead.
15.
As you're walking away, you feel this strange pulse of kind of tingling energy, almost like a soft.
Oh, you know what?
What?
I hadn't chosen my fucking rogue ability yet. My rogue proficiencies.
Rogue proficiency.
For expertise?
Bump. Yes.
Well, we'll have to
Too
do- we'll
late
have to do
now.
that. Too late now.
Okay.
You feel this magical essence creep upon you. You're not familiar with it, but you feel like something just attached to you.
From any direction or just attached?
You aren't entirely sure.
I
But
look
you
about. Is anything looking at me? Anybody throw anything at me?
I'm bandaging people.
Pour anything on me?
make a stealth check, Vex.
I'm choosing my dice.
Okay. I get advantage on all stealth checks?
Yes.
If you have the,
Because the cloak, yes.
24.
you look about, and in the chaos of the people, you have no idea what the source of this weird tingling
Keep
was.
is fucking drafty. Go downstairs.
Okay. As you walk downstairs, you find your way to Percy's workshop. We're gonna take a break.
Jeez Louise.
Thank goodness.
All right, make this one quick, guys. Get back into it while we still have the tension and the story going. So we'll see you guys here in a few minutes.
5 minutes, 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Pizza in 5 minutes.
We good?
Is the food here?
It should be.
Oh man.
Hello, everybody. On this week's No Survivors, we're going to be playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a role-playing game right now. That's right, role-playing games set in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe. It's going to be complex, it's going to be full of character depth, and it's going to be filled with mutant animals beating each other up. So, who are our characters going to pick? What characters are they going to be playing? Well, find out as we explore this multi-episode chronicle of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles only on No Survivors.
Hi, my name is Matthew Mercer. I'm a voice actor and the Dungeon Master for Geek and Sundry's Critical Role, and welcome to my short video series for my tips on how to Dungeon Master or Game Master your own role-playing games. So today, our first topic is going to be encounter building. So when you're creating an encounter, a combat encounter specifically for your party of adventurers or Space Marines or whatever else you're running, you want to consider what kind of terrain or region is this going to have. That's going to go ahead and help you guide what creatures are going to be there, what type of challenges might be in that wake. So consider, is it an icy tundra? Is it like a frozen mountaintop? Or is it like a hot, muggy swampland? Is it an underground cave network? They're actually in a lot of these resource books that you find for these RPGs, they'll have listings of creatures and monsters and dangers by topography and by weather, and that's a really cool way to kind of see what indigenous creatures might live there. And that's a good resource to pull from if you're not having any real creative juices helping you decide on what to put in front of them. Secondly, you want to consider how challenging you want the encounter or encounters to be. Do you want it to be a really quick scuffle? Do you want it to be a series of small battles as to like fighting down a long hallway in a spaceship? Do you want it to be just one giant climactic, multi-leveled boss confrontation? Once you've made that decision, that'll help you figure out how dangerous, how extensive, and how powerful the villains may be for this encounter. And there's a lot of great resource manuals for every RPG system out there that have breakdowns about what creatures are good for which player levels as far as power and challenge and danger is concerned. Like for instance, the Dungeon Master Guide and the Monster Manual have the challenge rating system. A creature of a certain challenge rating is a decent challenge for a group of 4 players of that level, and you can slide the scale from there. Also, the DMG, or the Dungeon Master Guide, has kind of an experience threshold table in there as well that helps you build encounters just based on the total experience points of the creatures they're fighting. So those are really cool resources if you're new to the system and you're trying to still figure out how to balance that properly. And over time, eventually you'll just get a feel for it. Experience helps you get a little more comfortable with balancing the battle, and you want to make sure you don't kill all your players way too quickly in the game either. There's also a really good website called Cobalt Fight Club for those who are running Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaigns that helps them build an entire encounter with the experience tables and stuff that helps you get an idea as what could and cannot be considered too powerful. And don't forget, if you can't find a creature or a monster in these realms or any sort of villain that really suits your needs for the storyline or this particular battle, you can create one. Make one up, or take something that's there and customize it, alter it. Make it more powerful, make it weaker, If you really, really want to run a game that has a bunch of kobolds as the main villain, but all your players are level 10, go ahead and make yourself some more powerful kobolds. You can customize them all you want. Everything in there is just a baseline suggestion of what they think or they created it initially to be, but you can always scale them. You can make them more powerful. You can add additional hit points, make them do more damage per attack, increase some defenses, give it some hidden resistances or vulnerabilities. You can even create whole new abilities. I customize creatures all the time for my game. I think it, one, makes it more interesting and more customized to the specific encounter and world. Secondly, for players who've been playing for a long time and have pretty much memorized the monster manual, it keeps them on their toes because they'll be encountering monsters that they have yet to memorize everything about. Also make sure though, if you do use these creatures and you want them to have interesting defenses and vulnerabilities and the like, make sure you highlight them or note them. It's very easy in the rush of combat to forget some of these cool things. So I always use a highlighter and I highlight the various notes and elements of these creatures or these combat scenarios that I want to make sure I remember and recall in the heat of battle. The next note I want to bring up is battlefields. First and foremost, not every game needs a battlefield. In fact, I kind of prefer RPGs that don't have a battle map with miniatures. It's a way to play. I prefer to keep things in my imagination, but that's generally more wieldy with smaller groups. If you have 3, maybe 4 players. Larger than that, it gets a little unwieldy. And with me running 6 to 8 players, it's become very necessary for everyone to keep track of their spatial awareness. When you create a map, things to consider: creative terrain. Think of where it's happening, but ways to make it different on occasion too. You can have straightforward battles with just, here's an area where they fight, here's some hallways, here's some rooms, and that's cool too. But if you're in an urban setting, have furniture that they can use to their advantage, whether it be for height or for setting up blockades. Also, consider what other challenges and confrontations they might have with the terrain during the battlefield. Is there a giant chasm they have to get across to actually get to the villain while they're attacking them from a distance? Is there some sort of an arcane field that's locked off a portion of the battlefield and they have to figure out some sort of puzzle during the battle to lock it down? Is the villain invulnerable to all damage until they can find some sort of hidden aspect of their soul locked within the nearby battlefield? Or is there a bunch of innocents in there as well that are in danger of being killed from the collateral damage? find cool and unique ways to make it an interesting battle outside of just a slugfest of HP being knocked away and whoever falls first. Mind you, those can be fun too on occasion, but you want to make sure you keep things interesting. For those who want to create battlefields, what I use for my battlefields, because this question's come up a few times, you can use easel pad paper, 1-inch grid easel pad paper that you can find online, and that's a really cool way to just draw on that using markers and create your own battlefields that way. There are great tutorials online too that show you how to make cool battles and interesting looking terrain with just simple hatch marks, shading, and minor colors, so highly recommend that. Also, when you're using intelligent creatures, especially monsters or individuals or villains that are, understanding of their own mortality, they may flee. When they hit about a half or a quarter hit points, they may want to get the heck out of Dodge. So don't be afraid to let your villains or your enemies do that on occasion. One, it ups the stakes immediately in a battle from just a slogfest to, oh crap, he's getting away, and the dynamic shifts to try and prevent them from doing so. And secondly, if they do manage to get away, you may have a juicy villain who can recur later on down the story with a need for vengeance. Vengeance. And another cool note, not all battles are meant to be won either. Sometimes you want to introduce a really powerful enemy kind of as a foreshadowing aspect, a creature that they can in no way, shape, or form defeat, and they are meant to flee from so that they can build towards down the road, maybe coming back and finally killing it as a means of vengeance. Just make sure you try and insinuate to the players that they shouldn't stick around for the whole fight, or you might have a TPK on your hands, so be careful with that one. It's a fun tool, but be careful. No, seriously, be careful. Plus, it also leads into a cool story of like, man, remember that time we almost got killed by that thing? Not all fights are meant to end in bloodshed as well, so don't be afraid to let the players diplomatically resolve an encounter. Sometimes battles happen because of misunderstandings or misinformation, or the wrong thing was said and it ticks somebody off. That doesn't mean they have to fight to the bitter end and murder whoever's in front of them. You don't want the whole murder hobo syndrome to be consistent. Unless that's the campaign you're running, in which case, fight on, my murder hobos. But let the players use their social skills to try and diffuse an encounter before anyone gets killed. I've had many games where halfway through a battle, someone's like, wait, they may have information we need, or maybe we were duped, we have the wrong information, and they decide to, diplomatically end it. Doesn't always work, but it's nice to give them that option. So I hope that...
Hello, everybody.
Okay. Have it your way.
He swings across and
Wow.
How many times do I bail on someone in the script? Okay, have it your way. Peace, bitch. Like, what is my problem?
You're the worst.
Whoa. I'm the good guy, right?
Yeah.
Validate me.
Swings across and lands on the ledge of the door. Then he swings the web back to her like a trapeze. Liz catches the web and looks across at Spider-Man, furious. Liz shouting across.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Why is she pissed?
I'm always angry when he's saving me.
Spider-Man shouting back.
Go ahead. It's easier than it looks. We've got to try the fire escape.
Liz swings across like Tarzan, and Spidey gathers her in on the ledge. She does a comic phew, and the ledge buckles beneath them, but holds. Spider-Man tries to open the door, but it's stuck. Liz.
The door is stuck.
Spider-Man bends his back to the task. It take all his strength. But with a comic, he bends the door open.
Why is it comic?
Why is it funny?
Hilarious,
A comic few and then a comic arc.
This one page, they want us to know it's funny.
They want us to know this is from a comic.
Barrel laughs.
I hope that's not it.
Exterior, fire door, night. They burst out onto the rock foundation of the building. New York is rushing up to meet them. The wind created by their fall buffets them. The helicopters arrive, and the falling building plunges right past them. The helicopters...
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. So before we jump into here real fast, we got a couple of things. One, we have a winner for our next giveaway for all you awesome subscribers out there. The winner is Black Shadow 773. Congratulations, Black Shadow.
Yeah, it is really appropriate.
I send you an awesome package with a bunch of goodies, some Critical Role goodies, some science stuff, some fun things coming your way. So, congrats, buddy. Also, I forgot to do it in the announcements earlier, but have a couple new music tracks and some things coming forward that I'll be able to incorporate in the game from awesome guys named Battle Bards. They did a Kickstarter a while back to create RPG-specific music and sound effects and kind of audio tracks, and they were nice enough to give me some of their stuff to use in the show. So if you're running your own game and you want some good music and kind of soundscape stuff to work on, Battle Bards we got some pretty cool stuff. So check them out. So thank you, guys.
Bards of battle.
Alrighty. So, returning as it was. Grog and Vax, you make your way down to the basement of Greyskull Keep. The door still partially ajar as Grog left it. You enter the room and...
Look, before we go in,
all right.
I would like to put my hand on Vax. Just a note. I tried to do this by myself, but the skull asked for Percy. I know he didn't respond well with all that dark, shadowy stuff. So be careful. I'm not entirely sure we can trust him with it. I wanted to do it myself, but it was either you or Keyleth, and you're a prick, so I picked you.
I don't say anything.
Okay. You guys enter?
Yep.
Percy is there waiting, hands behind his back. There is the table on one of his workbench areas that has a piece of tapestry that you guys originally had wrapped the skull in, draped over it. It is currently not visible.
What's going on, Percival?
Good. I felt that this was only possible if we had a few more witnesses. We have an artifact.
Oh, good.
The skull. There is something alive inside the skull. There is something evil, or at least not good, inside the skull. And it is offering to grant us any wish we desire if we set it free. Now, Grog is inclined to take this deal. I am, and I imagine this is surprising, having some reservations. I don't like I like having the terms spelled out, and I feel that so far the terms have not been spelled out. I'm going to lift the fabric off.
I'll go and shut the door.
Okay. As you lift the fabric off and you have a look at it as well, in this controlled environment, still facing you, the skull, which once again has the elongated form, the kind of longer teeth and jaw. It has the one gem that's embedded in the eye socket, and you can see there's like a little bit of almost like a spectral swirl to it, like it's something fluid within the actual gem itself.
Well, Freddy, I imagine I'm wondering the same thing you are, at least I hope, and that's what's in it for the skull.
He wants to be freed. It. How would we free you?
There's a slight pause before you can see the gem. The swirl coalesces into what looks like a spectral face. You can make out what looks to be eyes, a mouth, and a nose, though the nose itself it's less of a pronounced human nose. And
I'm looking at the floor. I'm not looking at...
Okay. But you see where the nose is instead, there are just two nasal passages. And you hear a voice slowly creak out from it and say, "All that I require is for you to destroy this prison. Free my spirit from generations of torment. That is all I ask."
Hey, quick question. Who are you? Who were you before you were in
prison?
This prison?
It's been too long. Too long have I been here. I do not know who I am.
Oh, well, go fuck yourself, and I put the blanket over it.
Blanket covers the skull.
This seems like a very bad idea to me. Why are we doing this? Didn't we do this already, once before?
It was an option, and I felt it was worth exploring, and I think now we do have an option with it, which is we have to take it somewhere and have him identified. We have to know who this is.
What are you talking about? Look, if it wants to be set free, fuck him. It's a wish. It's like a genie that wants out of a can. You don't grant it its wish. You get your fucking wish first.
It's not always genies in cans.
The wish to rid Imon of these dragons, then we've got nothing to deal with this fucking thing right here, whatever it is.
I would like to know before we make any deals. We need a name.
Hold on. Look, we have a chance to do good now. Right now. People are dying. More people are dying.
We have a chance to kick the can down the road.
I don't understand.
He's speaking literally, Grog.
We don't know that whatever's in here could be worse than what's out there.
I've had a thought.
But we can find out. And since it's a wish, we'll have plenty of room to fix this. We don't have to do it immediately.
Are you a betting man, Percival?
Yes.
If I told you that 4 giant, ancient, fuck-all death dragons were attacking the city and all of us barely managed to break one of its pinky toes, you're saying what's in there is worse than them?
I don't know. It's in there, isn't it? And how do we know the dragons weren't guarding it as opposed to it being a city? It could be the thing that they're angry about.
I think... I have a thought. I haven't spoken out loud yet. Every divine being that exists is accessible through Vasselheim. We are not equipped to handle this problem. Maybe this skull will do something. Maybe. That's a big fucking maybe. We're not equipped, and we don't know what dealing with that thing will bring. We go to Vasselheim tomorrow. We bring all the people in this keep with us. Keyleth sends them to the tree. They stay there. We find help. We cannot handle this on our own. My first instinct was to go back in for Uriel. We don't know what's happened to Uriel, but we can't do it. We are powerless against those things. Against one of them, let alone 4. We need help.
I wave my hand, and the skull drops into a shadow on the table and vanishes.
Okay.
Did that blanket just plop down?
The blanket vanished into the shadow as well. It's now just a shadow. I've put it back in its hiding place.
What the fuck was that?
That was a reminder that you should know what you're dealing with before you touch power.
Can you do magic?
Yes. I'm not going to pretend I always make the best calls, but I at least would like to know its name.
You fucking pussy. We have a chance to save this city now.
We have a chance to stop anything worse from happening. Or we have a chance to unleash something far worse on it.
Grog, know your strengths. It is your strength.
I'm a betting man, and this is a bad bet.
Can I walk up to the shadow table?
Yeah.
Can I start looking around it?
He's welcome.
Do I see anything?
It looks like there's the dark spot on the table, and as you reach your hand out, it's just a solid table.
I look at Percival. We need to talk to the girls.
And as you reach your hand past that into the shadow, because I assume this is the...
You know exactly what I did. Is he reaching, or is he...
He's reaching.
Are you...
I did not I'm looking on top of it, on the sides, underneath.
Yeah, currently it just looks like literally where the cloth and skull once were, there's the dark spot.
No buttons, no latches, no holes for quarters.
Nope.
Knocking on the door.
Your plan is good, it just requires a little bit more study. It's a good plan.
Study.
Are you in there?
Yes, please come in.
Open the door.
Unlocked. Vex walks in.
Well? What's this big master plan you all are plotting?
Vex, do you want to actually, we might as well just get Keyleth down here as well.
Pike as well.
Pike, Keyleth. Meet me in my...
Who cares what I think?
I'm gonna walk and attempt to gently scoop the skull up and put it behind me.
Okay.
Catch things up. I walk out the door. I'm going to get the other 2.
Did I notice that? I have a really good passive
You
perception.
do. You see him kind of scoot up to the table and just kind of move something behind his back.
Who did?
You don't know. You head up to the main foyer area where the stairs come up through the armory and lead into the main hallway that kind of bisects the center of the main floor. Just as Keyleth and Pike are coming out of the temple after being summoned.
All right, I beeline right up to them and I drop down in front of Pike. Pike, Keyleth, we're working on a plan. We don't have one yet, but Pike, and I'm down on my knee, you need to guide Grog. He doesn't listen to anyone else. He only listens to you.
Something wrong?
Yes and no.
Oh, no.
It's better if you just come. Pipe, come.
Okay.
And then I take Keela-san and I pull her after me.
Are we?
Who's in the room right now?
Right now, it's just you, Percy, and Vex.
I shut the door.
Okay. Grog walks over and closes the door.
I want that skull. I want it now.
This is about the skull, then.
Yeah, Percy's trying to do some fucked up shit with the skull.
Wait, did you close the door?
I did.
Can I,
So
can I
we're
try to
locked
get
out?
it?
He didn't lock it.
You guys
can't
haven't
lock
gotten
it.
there yet. This hasn't happened yet. You guys are
Key
still
lock.
walking down the
Can't lock
stairs.
No, but I stand in front of it. I want the skull. Right now.
Let me see your sword.
No, you don't want to see the sword.
Oh shit.
I point at the table. I say, reach into the shadow and see if you can take the skull.
No, I don't think so. Your water fucked me up last time. You get it out of the table.
Can I insight check them to see who is fucking with who and who has
Good
better
luck.
who has better intentions right now?
Oh, man.
insight check.
Double insight
It's like
check.
finding a needle in a haystack.
Okay, the gold one is for Percy, and the thorny one is for Grog.
Naturally.
Whoa! Those are good for both of them, motherfucker!
Roll.
The gold one is a 27 for
Okay.
Percy, and 15 plus 8. What is 15 plus
15 plus 8 is naturally 23.
23 for Grog.
Okay, I rolled it for both of them. And what was one of those a natural 20?
No, but one of them
Okay.
is 27 and 23.
Right,
were
27,
my
23. Okay, good. Looking at them both, they're still very guarded, and you're unable to really.
Both of them? Seriously, Matt?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Seriously?
I mean, you're. It doesn't absolve any of your suspicion by any means, but they're both locked in this intense kind of stare off, and you in the center of it as you dart back and forth to try and see any give, any twitch, anything that would possibly show an ounce of what is going on in their heads. It's the best poker faces you've seen on either of them in a while.
Are we at the door yet?
You guys are now getting to the door.
Bonk, bonk, bonk. Hey, big man. Trickfoot wants to talk to you.
I look Grog right in the eye before they come in and very quietly say, "Does your friend have an opinion on the skull?"
Which friend?
Your new friend.
Fuck? What the fuck is going on? What fucking friend?
Bex.
I saw you, Percival.
You did.
I just put my ear to the door. Can I hear them a little bit?
You guys can hear shouting from the other side, though it's
Can
too
I try
thick.
opening it?
Yeah, it's unlocked, and you open the door, and poof, it stops, like as if there's a door stop directly behind it. You feel the door slam you in the back, Grog.
Yeah.
Or pick who you trust. I trust your judgment.
Bex, listen to me. What did you see?
Who's your friend?
The skull grants a wish. It can only be used by those with dark presence around them. That's Percy. That's me. How has Percy done with dark shit in the past? I went to him for help because I'm trying to free the city of these fucking dragons. But it wanted Percy. I tried to keep it for myself. And now he's up to his shady shit all over
Wants
again.
Percy?
It wanted Percy.
And I said no.
The
Did
hell
you?
you did.
Wait, who wanted who?
Can we wiggle in?
Grog's
Try to
been
Grog, do you
touched
hold the
by
door?
a dark
Hold the door
thing?
shut. Door's not moving.
Okay, I'm just gonna quick rapid fire. I was hoping to bring everybody in, but say, listen to me. Percy's got this fucking skull. If you don't know everything about it,
Wait, the skull.
it's a skull. It's talking about granting a wish. It's fucking fucked up, just like the fucking smoke demon that was in Percival. I don't understand what's going on yet, but both Grog and Percival are a little fucked up. Grog's more fucked up, but I don't understand everything.
What?
But things are not good.
What?
What's going on?
Hearing Vax just unload that information, if I reach like kind of through the crack in the door, can I like touch Grog?
There's just enough of a gap where you could probably get an arm through.
Like my tiny little female hand?
Pike, what are you doing?
Girly hand.
My girly hand?
Shove the door open? Or let's try.
Try to.
What, hang
Pike,
on.
Make
Let
a strength check.
Let me go first.
Yeah, go first.
Okay.
I reach through, and if I can grab Grog, I cast Hold Person on him.
Cool, I'll stay right where I am.
Okay.
Well, and then we can push him over, right?
Try, yeah.
Sure.
All right, so
Wait, no.
it requires looking at the whole person. Does it require?
Weigh like 600 pounds.
Let me see what the.
There's 3 of us. We can push real hard.
We can get Jarrett.
All right. So looking at whole person here. Hold on just a second.
Oh wait. Can I redact
requires-
that? Can I redact that?
No, you already said it.
It has to be a humanoid you can see within range, so you couldn't even hold person through the door.
Beautiful.
Let her
Even
redact
better.
You read the spell, didn't you?
Scanlan.
I ain't do this.
Scanlan,
Look,
could
I
you
have
join
like
us downstairs,
100
please?
spells.
Quickly, please.
Scanlan goes, I'm trying to help some folks, but
Yeah, now.
you insist. All right. And he kind of.
I do insist, yeah.
All right.
Vex,
Wait.
if he has the skull, we've got to get it from him now.
Percy?
I have the skull. I'm not going to use it. I don't trust him not to use it yet.
How about you guys give me the skull? I'm not even touched by anything dark.
That's a great idea.
That's fair.
Yeah, give her the skull.
All right, I pull it out from behind me and hand it to you. It's in the bag. Wrapped in
Hand
cloth.
spell?
Oh god, I'm gonna get fucking attacked by Grog. I'm gonna back up into a corner and just hold on to it and look
Okay.
down at it.
Jesus, I don't have.
You look down at-
I'm holding on to it? Jesus!
Yeah, you're
It's
holding,
wrapped in a cloth.
You're holding onto it. It's
Okay.
wrapped in the tapestry that you guys threw of it originally, but you can feel it in your hands, and it's not terribly heavy. It's got some heft to it, and it's just having it there, you're already kind of getting pins and needles in the back of your neck.
Now, short hold.
If I
Try pushing the door? Or wait,
what is shoulder?
Yeah.
What is he? Is he trying to bamf in? Scanlan?
No. So, Pike, what are you doing?
I want to try to pushing the door open.
Okay, make a strength check.
I mean,
Grog, make a
with
strength
all
check.
my strength.
I love you, Travis.
Can I, while she pushes, can I kind of get up against the crack to see if I can see through while
17.
she pushes?
Sure.
Pike.
8.
Door lurches, but you hold it solidly in place. You can feel.
Dog, let me in!
Just a minute!
I've been waiting 5 minutes!
Put your pants on, Grog, really.
Just another minute, Mom.
I think this is probably the stupidest thing. Why did I decide to hold it?
Give me the skull. You don't want Percy to have it.
I don't want either of you to have it!
It's
Don't
on
give
a
me the
ticking
skull, but
clock.
don't give him the skull either.
If
Wait,
you
I
want to,
cannot-
you can
can I-
ask it what it wants, and then you'll know, or you can give it to me, and we can be done with this.
Are we trying to hand Grog the
take
evil things?
I take the tapestry off of it and I ask it, what the fuck do you want? What the fuck are you?
Okay, as you
fuck
look,
is this?
As you look down at the skull, which you still can't get through because Grog's holding the door, and you don't have a visual in there because he's holding it pretty close to completely shut. As you look down at it, you can see now in the gem kind of formulating in the middle of it this swirl of a face that kind of like whoosh, comes right up to the front. You can see in the midst of its coloration this like energy-based eyes and a grin, a toothy grin that just goes, I wish to be freed. That is all. I've been here far too long. I grow tired. I want to finally pass.
Are you Vecna?
You hear a chuckle. No. Vecna's been long gone. I am not a being of such power.
Can I insight check the fucking thing in the eyeball?
Sure, make an insight check.
Yeah, why not? I'm sure, like, no problem.
What is the deal?
Unless it was a natural 20, I think it
Cursed
doesn't
skulls.
matter. 15.
15.
No.
You don't.
What's that? That's high, way higher than 15.
Okay.
21.
21. Thank you.
22.
22.
I
All
can
right.
add-
That's way higher. So you you take a look at it. It's due to the fact that it's mostly hidden. There aren't facial tics. There aren't normal gives as to what a person's intent is, and even the tone of voice itself is kind of spectral and ominous and otherworldly. You have a hard time being able to really read whether or not it's being honest or lying or anything in between.
Scanlan here yet?
Why would we free it?
Scanlan is now behind the door on the other side. He's kind of enters the room. You guys goes like, well, "What's going on? Everything cool?"
Wait, the door's open now?
No, he's with you guys.
Ah, good, yeah.
A bum rush
Big B
back.
that shit.
If we let it go,
Dimension door me in, please.
I think we need a name.
Oh, I
before
was
we
gonna-
go.
Wait.
A bum rush Vex.
I'm using quick draw.
What?
Initiative rolls from both of you guys.
Yeah!
Does this mean the door flies open?
The door flies open.
Just a moment.
This is all seconds. This is happening in seconds.
14.
Do I really? Can I do anything?
28.
Oh, Jesus Christ. 28?!
I'll say roll with disadvantage because it catches you entirely off guard.
It's a surprise attack. Oh, that's lame. That was just 13.
Okay. And you had a
14.
14. Okay. All right. So you see Grog lower his head and then go for a burst run across the length of the workshop towards Vex. You instinctually go quick draw. What are you doing?
I'm shooting a warning shot past his head.
Okay.
Diving in, taking the.
Are you close enough? I backed into a corner.
I've got 6 spaces of movement in my turn.
Yeah, it's not
diving in, grabbing the head, and curling back around into the
head. The skull?
I'm grabbing the skull and
She's
curling.
50-50 distance between us.
I'm moving first.
Okay.
And I'm happy to spend an action surge if that'll make this
You
work
think you can
better.
just grab it from me?
D&D standoff.
I can make a roll for it.
So, as you dart, Percy,
yeah.
who's been waiting for this one, also darts, and both of you go rushing across the room. Percy manages to get there just a fraction of a second before you do. You hear the blast of his pistol past your ear, and the ringing hits the center of your head, but you still continue pushing forward in the way that Grog does, ignoring all outside interference. However, you've gotten to the skull first. You're going to attempt to wrestle it from her?
Gently pull it out of his run. So I'm going to.
Are you gonna try to pull me out of the way, or just the fucking skull, you dick?
She's pretty grappled to it.
If she's that grappled to it, then I'm going to try and push her out of the way of Grog.
Okay, oppose strength checks from both of you.
Of course he is.
From me?
Yeah, make a strength check.
No, doesn't seem to care much.
He really, really doesn't.
It doesn't.
15.
That's just terrible. 9.
It's less of a shove and more of a pull out of the way of Grog's rush.
Right. So he reaches over and grabs the skull and your arm and kind of pulls.
Oh
you.
no! Well, I grab her. So
right. But you haven't pulled it from her grip. You just pull her out of the way. Shoves you to the side. You go rushing forward, and as you get there, she's pulled her to the side. She's still right there in front of you, but the bum rush hasn't quite. Didn't get you there before anybody could react. So now it's your turn.
It's my turn?
Yeah. Did you rolled a 13?
I rolled a 13.
Oh, never mind. No, Grog goes next. Grog. So you rush up, and you can now see Percy, pistol out, hand kind of on the side of Vex, off the side of her arm. She's holding the skull there, and they're both looking at you expectantly. What are you gonna do?
I want Percy. I'm gonna tackle
him. You're what?
I'm gonna run straight towards Percy and tackle him.
Tackle him?
Yeah!
Okay, all right. So, let me get some proper rumble music for this.
Stop it.
There are dragons outside and we're playing rugby with a fucking skull.
Trying to fix the dragon.
Okay, so you use the momentum of the rush as you see him do this. You turn out of the way and go for a shoulder shove. I want you to go ahead and make an attack roll, or actually make an athletics roll versus your acrobatics.
Okay, that'd be higher. 19.
Oh shit. 14.
14. I need you to go ahead and make a strength saving throw.
Oh shit. 17? Oh no, savings throw. 21.
21. You slam into him, and you essentially shove him with the shoulder. You manage to knock him prone, but he doesn't. The skull doesn't come loose. He loses his grip on it, and currently Vex is still holding it in front of you. You are prone on the ground.
I'm prone on the ground.
Yeah. So Vex still has it.
But it's Vex's turn.
I knocked him
Exactly.
off. You still got the skull.
Yeah. So,
I wasn't trying to wrestle.
Anything else you want to try and accomplish?
Yeah, I would like to turn and put my back to Vex because she has the skull.
Okay. So you go and plant a protective position in front of her. It's now your turn. Grog, who rushes over and just shoulder slam Percy out of the way, who's fallen to the ground. This gun almost scatters to the floor of the workshop around you. As you're expecting him to now turn towards you, instead he steps, and his giant frame is now blocking you with the shoulder blades in front. His arms out in a defensive position, facing off with people as they begin to enter the room. What are you going to do?
I reach up and I touch his back,
Okay.
and I say, "Are you yourself?"
Me?
Yes, you, fuck!
Yeah, yes! Fuck, it's me!
It's him.
I back up into a corner and I say, what is all this about? Why do you even need this? Why do we want to set him free? I don't understand.
We don't. We just don't want him to have Percy.
I was gonna say, will the rest of us see this
At this
now,
point
right?
now, the doors burst open, and the rest of you guys rush in, and you can see Percy, just as he hits the ground, You can see Grog recovering from the shoulder slam, who then steps in front of Vex with this kind of like snarl on his face and begins shouting to her over his shoulder, and you hear them talking across the
He
wall.
doesn't want me. I don't want to use the skull. I want to keep you from using it.
What is going on in here?
Keyleth cracks her staff on the floor and does just a gust cantrip and goes, "Goof," to make a big burst of wind in the room.
Tools go falling off the walls and clattering to the stone floor of the establishment. All of you who have hair have it blown and wrapped around you. You're pushed back about 3 inches just from the burst of it, and all of you immediately, your attention goes to Keyleth, who stands there.
Dusty in there now, or is it just windy?
It's not dusty. It's covered in layers of soot that have now been kicked up, and the air itself is kind of now a temporary fume.
Do we have an order?
Silence!
So she does that. Pike, what are you doing?
Can I insight check Grog?
Yeah, go for it.
$21.
What are you trying to know?
What are you trying to know?
I want to know why he wants the skull so bad.
Okay. If you would like to relay any information, she peered pretty well into your demeanor.
I want to get rid of the dragons. Now.
So you gather that he's coming from a place that a simple mind is looking for a simple solution to a complex problem.
I'm right here, Matt.
Burn. Burn.
Flames are...
I'm just saying that's the best way that she can discern your demeanor right now. Spike, anything else you want to do right now? Because we have to continue this.
Yeah. Can I walk over and grab Craven Edge?
The Craven Edge is currently sheathed on its back away from you, so you could attempt to, if you want to.
Grog, can you give me Craven Edge, please?
Ike walks up, hands out to you, and looking you earnestly in the face.
Why?
I just want to look at it.
Pike? You sure about this?
I just want to see. Something's not quite right.
Can I get up at this point or no?
You, we're about to get back to the top of the round. So you do what you're doing. Okay. Percy.
I am just gonna stand up and grab a poker off the table. I'm like leaving my gun on the floor.
It's not even off the table. The wind gust knocked a lot of these things on the ground, so
off
it's
the
actually
floor,
a
then.
small pile of tools next to you. So you just grab the poker.
I grab a poker and I just take a corner.
Okay, so now Percy, you've squared off in a corner. There's Vex in the other corner. Grog's kind of standing in between the two with the back against Vex. The rest of the three of you are right there at the front. Pike has stepped up to Grog now and is beseeching him. That's Percy. Grog, you're up.
I look at Pike. I turn around. I look at Vex. You'll thank me, and I'd like to try and pull the skull out of her hands.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check against her.
Oh, come on. Ugh, there's no way. Even if I roll, like, unless I get a 20.
21.
No. That's 14.
All right. As Grog turns around and gives you almost an apologetic look, his face steals over with intensity as lightning fast, his muscular arms rush out in front, grasp the skull, and like tearing a toy from a child's grasp, it is just removed from you with barely any sort of resistance.
Can I get a spell off on him?
Not yet. So Grog, that's your action. You've grabbed and you have now the skull, which you left her with the tapestry. Like you still just a bare skull in front of you.
What would I like to do with it?
You have a bonus action, so it depends on what you're trying to accomplish.
Can I spike it?
turn.
You can, yeah. I'd say yeah. I'll let you do that.
That's a bonus action?
I'd say this would be like your movement and your bonus. I'll let you do that. Just the whole thing together.
I would like to spike the skull.
Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead and make a strength check.
You're just gonna no.
Oh! What are the fucking chances?
God.
For one.
Yes.
As you reach up at the apex of your throw, you look down.
I don't believe it.
Your eyes catch
I
Pike.
don't fucking believe it.
Your eyes catch Pike, and they're in that brief moment of slow motion as you reach up, you see her face, this look of complete, heartbreaking disappointment. And it, just like that, it shakes you in a way that you didn't expect, and as you go through the motion you'd already anticipated, your brain's already wandered, and in doing so, you slam it half-heartedly, and it just kind of bounces and skids across the ground over by where Keyleth is.
Is it like rolling at my feet?
I run and dodge, jump for it.
No.
All right, so it's the end of your turn. As it goes rolling, you run and dodge. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check.
23.
23. All right. You jump out of the way, tumble, roll, and scoop it up in your arms once more, and you have it.
Can I get a spell off?
We'll have to get to your turn.
Fucking.
So is that all you're gonna do?
That was like all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I run out of the room?
Okay.
I mean, unless if I can move, I'm gonna run towards the door.
I'd say yeah. With the tunnel and everything, you have just enough movement to get out of the room. So Vex goes darting out of the workshop, just past the door, leaving the room. That brings us now to
a relay race.
You really don't want to run away.
Okay.
Then I take a step in front of her and pull out my daggers and stand in front of my sister.
Okay.
What the fuck is happening? Seeing all of this happen, I cast Hold Person.
Stop trying to protect the skull.
At 4th level.
Against
Percy, Grog.
I'm out of the room. You can't see me.
I'm in.
How far away are they? Can I turn around and see?
I'd say she just got out of the room. You would have a visual on her as she's leaving the room. Yeah.
What about Vax?
Vax is standing in front of her. You have visual on both, technically.
Don't do this.
And
This is so metal.
Vex.
3 targets you can hit.
I love it.
Vex.
And
Sorry, Vex.
All right, I need a wisdom saving throw from all 3 of you.
Oh, wait, me too?
No, just me.
Great.
Yeah, you fucks are still
Natural
mobile.
20.
Oh.
Boom.
Oh, jeez, no.
15.
15, it's a failure.
21.
So, Percy, your muscles tense up, and as you're holding your poker, you just find yourself unable to move. Grog, you feel, and look over and see Keyleth as she kind of looks towards you with intensity, and you feel a similar kind of tremor across your head, but you shrug it off.
These fucking sensations today.
Yeah, it's weird. Vax, you as well. You kind of glance over your shoulder as you hear Keyleth muttering under her breath, and you feel that familiar sensation of the magical attempt to grasp your mind, and you just kind of, your half-elven self makes it even easier to shrug off, and you continue darting forward in the direction you are with your brother behind you. Like, so you're protecting yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm barring the way.
So we're right up the hallway from our prison cell, right?
Correct. I haven't got your turn yet, though. So is that the end of your turn? You want to move?
Can I say something?
If you want to, yeah. Say.
Everyone stop! Why are we fighting? We just watched our city burn to the ground! What are we fighting over?
They're not fighting. They're trying to protect the skull.
What does this look like? What does this look like to you?
A statue garden?
Everyone get in Percy's workshop and we're gonna talk this out!
Pike, it's your turn.
You don't know what's happening.
I would if any of my fucking party would for once tell me something! You all didn't tell me the full fucking story of when we bit back in General Krieg's house, and now look happened! Look what happened because you assholes aren't communicating! Shut up, Percy!
Pike, it's your turn.
This is because of us. And you all know it is. Let's figure this out. Go, Pike.
Grog, did you just say you want to protect the skull?
No, I want to break the skull. I want to get rid of the dragons.
Okay, what were you trying to do when you brought Percy and Vex up here?
It needed someone with a dark touch. But now it's to get the wish, but now it's touching everyone. They're trying to protect the skull, and we don't want that. We want it broken, I think.
But you want the wish?
Yeah, we want the wish. We can do whatever we want to with the wish and not take it, but yeah.
What if there has to be some type of payment if we take a wish?
Well, it didn't say anything about a payment. There are 4 dragons killing everything.
At this point, as you guys are having this conversation and you guys are darting out, Vex, you stop. As coming down the stairs from the main floor is Irvin. Frazzled, but still as put together as well as it can.
I tuck it behind my back.
I'm sorry, Lady Vexalia. It appears you have a few guests, suddenly.
What kind of guests?
She's been here before. I don't recognize the other in the dining area.
What does she look like?
Blonde hair.
Allura.
But there's a dwarven individual.
Oh my god, it's Allura and Kima. Oh.
This is a little like Clue, the movie.
Yes, Irvin. Bring them down here. It's an emergency.
Well, I'll
as quickly as possible.
Yes, and he turns around and kind of hustles up the stairs, only like a...
Can we all please go back in Percy's workshop?
Not yet,
Why
darling.
not?
Everybody, Keyleth, let's just wait until Allura gets here. I feel like she might have a calming effect on this situation. An
We are
outside
standing in the damn hall. All I am asking is that we move into a quiet room.
At this point now, at the top of the stairway, 2 individuals come walking down. One, first and foremost, you see what appears to be a dwarven male with short black hair and beard, trimmed fairly fine, red leathers, carrying some sort of a crooked wand kind of on the side. Behind him, you see kind of, hair tossed back as she rushes down after him, Arcanist Allura Vysorin.
Oh!
I sheathe my daggers.
Okay. She kind of looks about curiously, and the dwarf goes, "Okay, what have we stepped into here?" And Allura kind of puts her hand on the shoulder and goes, "Don't worry, I apologize for my intrusion. I had a... Is everything all right?"
We could use your help at this moment.
Certainly. Sorry, this is a long-time friend of mine, Elementalist Drake Thunderbrand. If you don't mind him accompanying us as well.
Is he good?
Oh, he's one of the finest.
A good person.
I'd put my life in his hands a number of times, yes.
Things are a lot more complicated than you even imagine. Please, come in.
Yes,
we
yes.
need you.
And as you guys are having this kind of standoff, you watch as this, black-haired, kind of red-leathered dwarf kind of walks in, looking around, inspecting intently. You don't recognize him. You've never seen him before.
What's he wielding?
No weapons on him. You just see him clutching this kind of like gnarled, curved wand that kind of like almost spirals, like a piece of well-treated but messed up wood.
That's
Stick.
a weapon.
Maybe. And Allura rushes in, kind of muttering under her breath. I was just in Whitestone, and I had a terrible feeling come over me, and all my teleportation sigils within the city were suddenly severed. Both my tower and the Lyceum. I had to manually teleport us here, as it was the only place I really had enough familiarity with, far enough away from the city in case something bad had happened. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all. We're grateful for your help.
Could you do us a favor? We've had a small accident with Percival.
Not yet.
Does she
Not
know
yet.
about the D?
No.
Yeah.
So, Imon is in ruins. It's been destroyed by dragons.
4 ancient dragons.
They call themselves the Chroma Conclave.
And, your tower is
fucked.
Yes.
So sorry.
I'll go ahead and drop the hold person on Percy.
And her face goes white. I mean, the blood just runs from her entire complexion, and you can see the dwarf that initially was kind of huffed up and, kind of intense in his energy, while not fully understanding what's going on, looks over to Allura and softens and kind of walks up and kind of puts his hand on her shoulder. You okay, lass?
I'm sorry, milady. Did you know that Uriel planned to step down?
He threatened it.
He did it.
For weeks. What?
He did it. And moments later, 4 old dragons descended upon the city.
The Cloudtop district has been demolished.
This cannot be.
I don't know. We don't know who all is alive or dead. We can only expect the worst.
This cannot be.
Unfortunately, Allura, all of that is the reason for our current impasse. We seem to have discovered something that could potentially reverse the situation. But there's a great price to pay. It could be a small price to pay, we don't know. If you wouldn't mind taking a look at this relic we've discovered.
And you see she's still kind of lost in thought, and there's something in her mind that's distracting her immensely, but she kind of eventually clarifies and her eyes focus on you once more, and she goes, of course, please.
I don't give it to her, but I pull the tapestry off of the skull and show it to her.
She looks at it and leans forward and begins muttering something beneath her breath, and kind of, she goes into technical mode, like she distracts herself with work at this moment, and as her brow furrows, she mutters under her breath and completes some sort of a flash of arcane energy. And you can see the flash, the energy kind of attaches around the skull for a second and then kind of glyphs back to her, and she goes, right, all right, that skull is not human. That skull is Githyanki. That is a species that exists primarily on the astral plane. They are rowdy, evil, pirating, marauding individuals, and that's one sense. The gem within that skull appears to be a soul gem. It contains soul of, from what I can gather, a Githyanki individual, very old. I can say, at least from my knowledge and learned opinion, that no good can come from such an artifact.
Okay, he can grant a wish, he says. Lying truth. What do you think?
It's hard to say. It would take a very powerful individual to do so. However, I would say that wishes granted by entities that do not correspond with your moral outlook, for the most part, rarely end up in your favor, even when carefully worded.
Right. No, but I remember this. We dealt with this, with the demon that killed
Yes, but
Pike.
we used our wish to wish ourselves out of that contract.
And it had to be so carefully worded.
We can destroy more if we're not careful.
There have been powerful individuals who, upon attaining the ability to make such a wish, even as careful as they were, they reached beyond the means of its magic, and in doing so, undid themselves. It's a very, very powerful, very dangerous magic, and if this entity is indeed even capable of doing so, who's to say the chances that it wouldn't wreak more havoc than you intended?
We're in a precarious position. The city is in ruins already in a matter of hours.
Yes.
We do.
And at this point, she kind of looks around for a chair. You can see, like,
There's
her hands are
chairs.
shaking. She goes and grabs a chair and pulls it up, and she sits down for a second and kind of puts her hands on her knees quietly. Describe to me these dragons.
There was one of each color. Of
Green, a black, a white.
And a big red piece of shit.
all colors except for blue of the chromatic spectrum.
As you go through each...
I got a few of their names.
As you go to each color, she kind of nods. When you say the big red, her body just freezes.
Does this sound familiar to you?
The names you said.
There's a white dragon that called himself Volragal, a green dragon, Raishon, black dragon, Umbrasil, and the red dragon. We haven't heard his name yet. He seems to be the leader.
At this point, she kind of nods. She goes, I know not the middle two. Vorugal has been known to wander the wastes north in Orphansia. Some of the offspring have wandered further. In fact, I believe the Sky Sunder that you destroyed not but 2 years ago, that was sealed within the Frostweald, was one of its brethren, its children. But Vorugal has not been seen wandering this far out. Chromatics do not work together. They are selfish and greedy and territorial.
They're definitely working together.
It's Red, you say, is the leader.
Yes.
Most definitely.
He had a message that he belted over the entire city. He said that we who live, he's showing mercy, and that we can either fight or flee. And then...
He said if we fight or flee, we'll be denied the mercy.
Okay, something along those lines. And then he said that it was the guardians of this city that brought this upon him on, and that he is control. He called it like a new order.
Said our new purpose is to serve him.
Now, for the first time, you've known Alora for quite some time, and she's been a very stoic, strong, confident, and powerful person. At this moment, she has withered. She looks genuinely like she's hit a level of fear you've never seen from an individual like this, and it shakes you to see this upon her face, and she puts her hand up and says, "This is not your fault. This burden is mine." And looks over to the dwarf and says, "Ours." And the dwarf, now you can see, he's nodding and understanding. This dragon, it's been called many names, but the one that it has taken is Thordak, the Cinder King.
Thordak?
Thordak. This terrible beast lorded over half of Marquette for centuries, taking the Scalden Sands as its domain and its denizens as cattle. And just as the city of Ankarel was becoming the jewel of the desert, Thordak struck a battle, however, that it was unable to win. Sent away, mortally wounded, it was thought that the dragon had died soon after, having not been seen for many centuries since. That is until about 15 years ago. Rumors of a powerful drake storming the beaches and seas had been whispered for a long time, while ships would be lost at sea. He had survived, and secretly ruled the island of Viscan, in the south of the Lucidian Ocean. I suppose after generations, the dragon, now self-crowned as the Cinder King, grew greedier with the island's limited resources, and began razing the Mornset countryside south of the Verdant Expanse, in the Stormcrest Mountains. And her eyes get even more distant as she's recalling all this. Reports of a dragon more massive than record could compare hit Taldore. At the time, I wasn't part of the council. I traveled with a group of adventurers, much like yourselves. Kima, Drake here, and a handful of other brave souls who are no longer with us. We traveled to investigate, but arrived to find this creature destroying everything surrounding the glade pools. Port Udar, gone. By Rodin, a smoldering ruin. And we gathered a small army of mercenaries and hunted it back to its new den in the Stormcrest. where a large number of lizard folk had formed around him. But we were overpowered by the sheer might of the dragon. The sheer might of the dragon. Many lives were lost. Knowing we could not kill it, we turned to other means. I called upon the Arcana Pansophical, a circle of friends, arcane practitioners that agreed to work together across the land to keep them safe. We devised a trap. One that could, we believed, permanently seal Thordak within the elemental plane of fire, preventing him from ever returning to our world. And at the sacrifice of many, including our companions, Cirrus, Dola, Gen, we succeeded. As the tears begin to roll down her face, she looks around. For naught now, it seems that somehow he has broken our invocation. We bound his essence to the fountains of creation and thought he would stay there forever. And she just kind of goes quiet and looks around for a second. I'm sorry.
This couldn't be because of our journey to the elemental plane, could it?
I'm so sorry.
We saw him there.
We did, but it sounds like he has been...
We didn't set him free, you don't think?
No, it was Keyless Ashari thing.
My people, our job is to guard these realms.
Is there any way of contacting the Fire Ashari?
Yeah. Oh God.
To bind him,
God, what if they're dead?
We don't know anything yet.
To bind him, we created an artifact called a soul anchor. It was crafted from the salvaged heart crystal of a primordial fire titan. The anchor could not be removed from the plane, and the Syndic King could not leave without it. I don't know how he's managed to escape the binding of this.
Oh my God, this is all my fault.
No. This was a landmine waiting to be stepped on.
But wait. We didn't... We fought my elders. We fought the headmaster.
It couldn't have been.
That would have no bearing on this. The heart crystal is immense.
Don't...
15, 20 feet in diameter. It's a gem of pure crystallized ruby and elemental power and energy. Lest you manage to find this and destroy it, which I mean no offense, it's far beyond your capability.
My people. Would they be okay?
Depends on where he made his way through. The timing is rather conspicuous, seeing as how Winter's Crest recently passed, in which time the plains are the thinnest.
Yeah.
Barricades. Whatever it is, I fear that our ruse will not work twice, especially if Thordak has had all this time to obsess over his failure. I do not know our next course of action.
What do you know of General Krieg?
He's been gone for some time.
You were on the council with him. Do you know anything further?
I believe it was discussed that either he had been killed during the demonic intrusion in the city, or deserted.
Will the dragons seek vengeance against one of their brethren killed?
Chromatics are selfish beings. They do not care for each other. And the power of one is enough, but a conclave of dragons is both extraordinary and horrifying, but there is no sense of vengeance for their kin, lest it is against the greater plan. Now, if what you say is true, and these other dragons have bound together in the service of Thordak, I imagine they would be the ones who had the power and the resources to find some way to bring him through. At which point, the dwarf kind of steps up and still his hand kind of rubbing over his shoulder and says, "We knew not what we were doing, other than trying to save it. Don't blame yourself."
Laura.
Yes.
Would you consider us guardians of this city?
One of many. I believe the guardians.
No.
Is this because of us?
Laura looks at you dead on and says, "The only guardians that Thordak would know of would be the ones that sent him away to that plane 15 years ago. This is my fault."
It's not true. If we are to solve this situation, we cannot hide the truth. I killed Krieg. We killed Krieg. I finished Krieg.
What do you mean?
Krieg was a dragon, Allura.
A blue dragon.
We stumbled upon his lair, reached through his home in Amon, through magical means. We found his lair,
He attacked us.
and I
reach out and I grab Vax's hand.
And we survived.
When it happened, he had 4 stones, 4 orbs in his lair. They saw us.
They spoke out to us.
They threatened us.
When was this? Was this...
Many years ago.
Maybe 2 years ago.
not all that long ago.
It was right after we got to Amon.
It's been over a year at least. Well, it's taken them that long at least to free Thordak. Means this has probably been in the works for quite some time. If we do share this responsibility, I assure you it weighs heavily on me more than it does you. But right now we need all the allies we can gather. Now you say Thordak is where right now?
Sitting on the mountain.
Within the city.
Yeah.
The others.
Vex, you would know.
Oh, I can sense them. Right.
It's for 6 mile radius, was it?
Yeah.
On the edge of your senses as you close your eyes and focus, and it kind of extend your ability to feel the landscape around you. Indeed, the Cinder King still sits in the center of the city.
He's here.
What are the others?
Do I sense any others?
Nope.
They're gone. For the time being.
It's weird. They kind of do what he says.
Barely.
Barely.
And on top of all that, we have this fucking skull.
I need to check in with my people. I need to check in with the Arashari.
Where's the rest? Where's the council? Who do we know? Who do we know survived?
We know
Or
nothing.
anything. Everyone was dying around us. We made it to the keep.
We were lucky to get off.
We don't know what happened to Uriel. We didn't see.
We need to take stock of who we can consider friends that are still around. Any not allies right now. That should be our first order of business, if anything. And her face drops again. I just lost my connection with Western.
Yeah, this is an annihilation.
If this was an extermination, there wouldn't be any survivors. You wouldn't be here. The fact that they've only taken what they can of this city. What use is the city to a dragon if it doesn't have worshippers? They're vain beings.
Think, Alora. What do all these cities have in common? What would be the benefits of taking over these cities? Pride?
Resources. Their gold. Their people.
You think they just want domination over people, over us? They called us ants.
Yes.
They want to be gods.
What good is a creature that sees itself as superior if there aren't those around to tell them as such and confirm their belief? And if anyone refuses to bend their will through fear or power, that is the nature of the chromatic dragons.
There has to be something more that they want.
Perhaps. But for now, the fact that he's even shouted mercy at this time as opposed to completely destroying everything in his wake means that that vanity can be used to our advantage. I don't know how soon, but that's something. Now.
Allies. Vasselheim has warriors, armories.
Whitestone as well.
The
We could bring them here.
I need to reach out to the Ashari to see if they're... I leave. I want to go... Allura, will you help me in a scrying spell?
Yes, best I can, yes.
I want to scry and first check in on the fire Ashari.
Okay. All right. At this point, you both... she pulls out her crystal ball from her little tiny satchel, which is in itself like a smaller bag of holding. Pulls out a small mirror, takes some water, pours it on the mirror, places the sphere above it, and it kind of floats for a second. And there's a makeshift scrying ritual site here before you. You guys take about 10 minutes to concentrate. If you guys want to do anything in that 10-minute period, you're welcome to, or if you just want to watch and wait, you can.
I'm going to just sit. It's been a long, long day.
Okay. The spell completes.
I'm gonna roll my hit dice.
Yeah. Okay, you guys you can begin to take a short rest if you want to heal up.
I'm gonna sit with my sister in that time. I want to kill that dragon. Or I want to die trying.
We will.
Do I see Zirconis?
So you take Allura's hand and you put your focus into the crystal sphere. Your vision lifts out of the keep with extreme speed. You find your visual surroundings thrust across the Osmet Sea. You find yourself swooping across the shores of Althansia, over the forests, eventually coming upon the blackened clouds that perpetually hang above the charred mountain range that contains the home of the Fire Ashari and the entrance to the elemental plane of fire. Your vision crests the mountain and steps into the valley of broken, blackened shale, to the ever-burning forest. As you come upon it, you recall where the Fire Ashari village was and where you were greeted before and given your trials, where there is now nothing but sundered, broken wood, tents destroyed, bodies burnt and charred and curled up in horrible, ever-gasping pain. The forest itself is flattened from the inside out, like a blast from the center of it, just exploded outward. The trees all bent and snapped at the base. And in the center, where there once was that small pool of molten lava that you created the portal through and stepped into the elemental plane, there is a large, ominous, flickering gash between the planes that is roughly 30 to 40 feet in width and height, that is just pulsing as fire and magma pours out of it. You can see wandering imps and elementals and various entities slowly peeking out and escaping and wandering throughout the mountaintops. From what you can see, there are no signs of any survivors.
Destroyed everything. They've killed everyone.
Allura at this point, who pulls out of the ritual, reaches out and grabs you by the shoulders.
We failed.
And she looks you in the eyes, and for a moment, you feel like her normally warm and embracing face has gone cold and intense, and her voice seems to echo with an undercurrent of arcane focus and volume. She goes,
People failed. We failed.
Keyleth, you failed no one. This is not your doing. This burden is ours as a people to hold. Do not let this wash over you or he wins. This is their making. This is not yours. These creatures are evil, incarnate, and it is our job, our true calling, to end what they have done. Do not let this crush you. You are stronger than that. Pull yourself together. Your people, those that remain, they stand behind you.
I'm not as strong as you, Allura.
But you can be, and you will be. Do you trust me? Do you trust me?
Yes.
good. No grasp releases.
People.
And mine. And all of ours. There are many secrets in these lands. I'm a firm believer that there's always a way to victory, if we're smart about it, and we're quick about it. Now, I think we should look for survivors. Gather those we know can rally to our cause. In Imon and beyond. What say you?
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
We either stand now or we might as well be dead.
So we're definitely not going to wish on this skull then. Yeah.
I would recommend against it.
Yeah, I stand.
Very well. Let us prepare the fall of the Chroma Conclave. Together. And that's where we'll end our session for tonight.
Fucking A.
Hey guys! D&D's fun!
D&D will never be fun again! Everything's ruined!
Hey, we're all cows!
Back when things were so much simpler.
Be sure to buy a t-shirt over on Geek.
Wow.
In Sam's honor.
Hail.
Brought to you by Wormwood Gaming.
Wormwood Gaming.
Specifically designed to absorb tears.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
There you go.
So porous.
So yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Can't we play longer?
Can we play longer?
What time is it? It's 10 o'clock. We ended on time.
I'm
actually
so
ended on
impressed.
time.
The first time we've ever ended on time.
Wow,
Session
that
got
game
canceled.
felt
I
like
don't even have to
20
wake up.
hours.
Yeah. It was originally supposed to be a 3-hour show, but it never quite
Never
that way.
It never started that way.
I know. We tried. We try. We mostly fail, but occasionally we get it right. So, I mean, I'd say I'm sorry for the emotional roller coaster.
But you're not.
Matt, that was
Not at
fucking
all.
awesome.
That was
That was
amazing.
awesome.
This
Aside
is
from the death.
welcome.
I would have kicked your ass, by the way. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, you really are gonna put that out there?
I picked up the poker because I didn't want to hurt you.
Okay.
Throwing that out there.
My plan was to
Put that
take
on the
that
back
skull and run like a fucking football player.
Go full on Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Dun-dun,
Oh my
dun-dun.
god, I would have been in the heart of a mon, shoving it up the red dragon's nose.
And then, welcome to the new story arc.
Oh,
Yay!
Wow.
Oh my god, so much snot.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, everything.
When do I level up?
Wait, no.
I'm gonna go find a corner to rock back and forth.
We would have been working in a lich's sugar mine if you had done that.
Nah, we
Yeah,
all
but
would have
the
been. We
world
would have
war
been
just,
kings
like-
and queens. We'd been drinking ice mochas.
No, I was more afraid of us wishing ourselves out of existence.
Yeah.
I wish there were no more dragons and no more
It was
people and
such a
anything
bad
ever.
deal. I said no. Like, can you imagine how bad of a deal that must have been?
That's a good point.
I was really looking for a reason to say yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't there.
So he vetoed it.
It turns out it was just like a fucking lame ass pirate. Fuck that. We don't want to be indebted to some shithead pirate who
It was
died like
Mitzelplicknick. Nothing good happens when you let Mitzelplicknick out of the goddamn skull.
It was kind of fun. I set a time for myself to when she was going to arrive, and I was like, oh man, what's going to happen before she gets there?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, I
Wow.
was like, and as you guys kept delaying, I'm like, she might actually catch him in time.
She would have just walked in and we're just like beating the shit out of each other.
It all would have gone to hell if you.
You don't know what would have happened.
Oh.
You don't know.
I would have saved the world. That's what would have happened. Fucking one.
None of you have heard.
I would have been King
Where'd you
Grog.
think you in
I would have
your
gotten a
travels?
cape. I would have had a bunch of like harem people taking care of me, giving me sponge baths with the tongues.
I was gonna carve my name in your nuts.
I wouldn't object to that.
Again, I was gonna gender swap. I just wanted like Percy was gonna become Persina.
I wish I was a woman.
My sister
Still
wants a
have the
sister.
dragon problem, but now we have a dragon and a pirate
There you
bitch.
Wow.
The Rolo sisters. I'm glad you can make it, Ashley. You should make it every week.
Nudge,
Does
nudge.
this mean I am like the last druid to make the armament to?
You don't know.
There might have been one after
There's
you.
gotta be some other ones.
From what you saw,
There's
the
this one guy.
the fire shari were decimated. You saw a number of bodies. You don't know if any escaped. You don't know if any were hidden. You don't know what happened. You just at that location, it is just desolation. And and you get the sense from that is precisely the place where Thordak
I'm
re-entered the
wondering
plane.
about the other locations though too. I
I want to know about Whitestone. We have a lot of phone calls to
we
make.
have a lot of phone calls. Like, and
No,
he
they're all
could have
dead. Everybody's dead.
theoretically wiped my people off the face of the planet
She's an optimist.
Let me take
if they all busted through.
I can never. Does decimated mean that 1/10 survived, or that only 10% died? I can never remember which one
Yeah,
decimated is.
yeah.
I know it's one of the two.
Yeah, that term has been largely misused in the current day vernacular.
I know.
Oh yeah.
10% died. That's what it is.
I love
Yeah.
misusing vernacular.
Wow.
Fun.
You
Guys.
abuse your
For
vernacular
the,
every day.
Great
Crazy
fucking
times.
story, Matt. Holy
Awesome.
shit. Holy shit. You had trees and stuff.
Why you gotta be a dick, man?
Yeah, as we're discovering that the white battle mats don't pick up as well as the cameras and the colors, I'm trying to use other options whenever possible.
It
So
worked. The green was
Yeah, it's
amazing.
really nice.
Blow with green.
so I'm gonna be trying to push more on that. It's a little more work on my end, but it'll be fine.
Tell
Yeah,
me more, sadist.
Thanks for joining us, you guys.
guys, thank you for watching. I hope you have a
Yeah.
wonderful night, and we'll see you guys next Thursday.
I need
Good
a
night.
cigarette, and I don't smoke.